Woo! Happy Tuesday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you this morning. And what an evening it was last night. My goodness. Monday Night Football. You shined. You delivered. You took the common narrative this season and you kind of turned it on its head. So we've all been dying to see more starting quarterbacks out there and competing and fighting because the quarterback play has been poor this season. And we did not get that. Drew Lock is not a starting quarterback in this league, but he delivered arguably one of the most sensational performances, certainly the best come from behind victory in prime time this season. What the Seahawks were able to do on that final 10-play, 92-yard drive, capped with the Jackson Smith and Jigba touchdown reception was nothing short of sensational. That's the reason why we love football. That's the reason why this sport stands heads and shoulders above most, because you just can never tell what's going to happen. If you watch the opening 10 or 12 minutes of that game, you're like, Philadelphia is going to steamroll the Seattle Seahawks. And then the end score is 20-17, and it's a nail biter.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I actually fell asleep at halftime. Whoops. I did wake up, though, with 2 minutes left, which was the time it mattered.
Yeah. Well, what's so funny is our group text gets awfully quiet around the middle of, for whatever reason, football puts TD to sleep.
Yeah. Because I'm sitting on the couch finally. I never sit down.
It's Monday night. It's Thursday night. At some point, it's just me and Fletch just either arguing or conversating. And then all of a sudden, TD will check back in and be like, it'll be like 10 o'clock at night sometimes. Be like, I took a nap and I slept for 4 hours.
Well, Richie and I both had some crazy underdog / prize picks going last night. And so we were going back and forth with that. And then at about 20 minutes into this, I was like, Travis hasn't responded once. He's either asleep or Sarah has him installing some fixture onto the house.
Yeah, both plausible. I did fall asleep, though.
Yeah.
I thought, it was a
which is shocking because that's your guy.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You drafted and developed Drew Lock.
Whoa! God, I miss Drew Lock.
You wish he was your quarterback right now instead of Russ?
I actually do.
I bet you do.
Yeah, come on.
Bronco country. That's right.
That's right.
Oh,
I don't know.
no.
All right, well, the question coming out of last night.
I don't know.
Can you guys see Drew Lock taking over that role? Because Geno Smith is getting a little older, getting a little more fragile. I think the magic from last year has worn off a little bit. Could you see Drew Lock being a long-term solution in Seattle?
Could I see Drew Lock as a long-term solution? No, I think he's maybe a Band-Aid to get through the rest of the season.
He beat the Eagles last night, man.
Yeah, he did. I know that also last season the Seahawks camp did say that Drew Lock is the future of this team, which I found absolutely mind-blowing. He doesn't look like he is a starting quarterback for the long term, right? He looks like he could be a fantastic guy to come in and win one of these crazy games for you, and then that's it.
Yeah. I think I agree more with that than the face of the franchise for years and years and years to come. But I will say this. When you sign that Geno Smith contract, you knew that it was a bridge quarterback contract. It wasn't top of the market. It was great dollars, and Geno Smith earned every single one of those dollars. But you knew what it was. You knew that you were hiring a placeholder to get the next guy ready or to feather the bed a little bit for a draft pick if you want to move up and get the quarterback that you've been waiting to draft. And you have stability at the position for a little while, which is good. Or potentially, and I'm not saying it's completely ruled out, but I lean more towards what TD just said, Drew Lock can develop into something special. Now, that remains to be seen, but last night certainly was a step in the direction of confidence because, holy cow, that was sensational. I can't tell you how hard it is to win at the NFL level. All those years that I played, it's tough, man. You prepare all week, and then you can go out there and just get absolutely destroyed. I mean, fortunately for me, 4 of the years that I played in the NFL, I played on really good teams. Actually, 5 of those years I played on really good teams with a chance. But there are certain teams that go out there, and it doesn't matter how hard they work each week. they're going to lose football games, like a lot of them.
Personnel is personnel. Coaching is coaching.
Yeah.
So sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you work in the NFL,
And
which
so,
sucks.
So what Drew Lock did was
so impressive.
I mean, it was so impressive.
Now, the problem is something you just said. Well, who knows what they're going to do with this draft this year? Like, they might try to move up. Well, they're working themselves into a worse draft pick with every single win. And now the playoff picture in the NFC near the bottom where the Seahawks would be is getting tricky. They're still on the outside looking in, even after a win against the Eagles, which was uber impressive. But you're looking up now at the Rams, who are in division. And so the Seahawks still have work to do. I wonder, obviously, they're all in on this season. They want to get to the playoffs and win as many games as possible, but it might come at the cost of something special in the future. Rich, TD, I'm going to play the two sound bites, the DK Metcalf catch down the sideline, and then the Jackson Smith and Jigba catch in the end zone for the win. I want both of your takes on who did a better job on this play, the receiver or the quarterback.
Okay, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, here's the DK Metcalf one down the sideline. There was about a minute left in the game when this happened.
That catch was unbelievable.
Double coverage,
Yeah.
down the sideline,
Right.
3rd and 10. This was the game, so it was kind of a Hail Mary-esque throw. He just lobbed it up, and DK Metcalf made the play.
I mean, when you watch DK just muscle through two, and you're not talking about just two humans, you're talking about two of the best trained defenders on the planet. Like, I get it, maybe the secondary for the Seahawks, I don't know what the numbers say. I don't know how they are defensively this season in terms of their secondary, but let's put it this way. That's a Pete Carroll coach defense, and this is the NFL. So those are pretty good coverage guys. And DCAF just little boyed them.
No, it was the Eagles defense.
I'm sorry.
Right. So it's a
Eagles.
Matt Patricia led defense.
Right.
Who, by the way, good defensive coordinator, bad head coach. That was, and by the way, also bad offensive coordinator. We found out last year, oddly.
However, when you're putting that on Metcalf, you got to think though, Drew Lock, who by the way shouldn't have probably thrown that to that double coverage there, but somehow fit that in between a ball width plus an inch. I mean, he dropped it right in. It was on a dime.
It was the only place he could have thrown that football. However, questionable that he should have thrown that football.
He should have thrown that football.
Because it was like James Bradbury was one of the defenders. He's been really good in this league, even though he has a couple of big mistakes in Super Bowl and NFC championship games. But James Bradbury was one of those defenders.
I will say this, though. I mean, if you look at the route concepts that he had available to him, he had single coverage everywhere you looked. He probably could have looked back to his left and thrown an easier pass, but I mean, who do you trust more, DK Metcalf in that situation or any of your other receivers?
Or a rookie or Tyler Lockett. You're talking about the most athletic, the biggest person on the football field who, if anyone is going to outmuscle two defenders, it is DK Metcalf. I mean, maybe the guy on the other sideline, A.J. Brown, but I would trust DK Metcalf in that situation.
It was unbelievable. So number 14 comes down with that football, and then it led to another 3rd and 10 situation where Jackson Smith and Jigba just played hero.
So this one I feel the opposite about. Drew Lock did that absolutely perfect. That was the perfect play. That was the perfect drop. That was the perfect move. That was the perfect throw. Jackson Smith and Jigba almost got it. At the very least, he almost went out of bounds and would have been a catch. He gobbled it at the first. Troy Aikman Kennedy caught the back half of the ball. Like, that's where things get a little sketchy, and they were starting to wait a little bit at that moment. So it almost was a really bad rookie drop that ended up being a good touchdown.
It was awesome. I mean, it was awesome. It was great. That was good football to watch. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
And a young quarterback, unproven, Drew Lock, a young receiver, if he ends up getting a couple more starts under his belt while the Seahawks wait for Geno Smith to come back, and these two can grow together. I mean, that's special. That's what you hope for when you draft guys, when you develop quarterbacks, is that they earn the trust of their teammates and they have some special talent. And there's no question during his time at Ohio State and now in the NFL, big play after big play. And so for him to come down with that catch, even though he caught the back half of the football, even though it was almost a drop, it wasn't. It was almost 30 yards through the air for the score in the waning seconds of this game. And you just see the camera go straight to Jalen Hurts after that moment. And he's sitting on the sideline. And he's a pretty still-faced guy anyways. but you know what was going through his head. He's like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
Holy cow! And plus, he fought through illness to play in that game.
He's got that knee injury that's still there.
He's been bothered by injury this season. A gutsy game by the Eagles, no doubt. But Seattle, home dogs on Monday night. You know, that's the old saying.
And we are,
by the way,
1-5 in our barrel picks.
Yeah.
We should stop picking games when we're drunk.
Well, or
what?
by the way, I mean, if you turn this around, we're handing out winners.
Yeah, exactly.
Just start fading us like crazy.
Well, that's my point. Like if you trust us, well, we're sorry. But if you picked against us, you're hitting at an 80% rate right now.
That's absurd. And we would have to try really hard to do that. But I guess it's the opposite. So the reason like this game was so exciting and all three of us were into it is because of the emotions that got packed into it. Well, Drew Lock was the exact same way. If you guys didn't catch it, here was the last bit of his interaction with Lisa Salters after the game.
Again, Drew, we can see the emotion on your face. We can hear it in your voice. Can you just describe what you're feeling in your heart right now?
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to describe the feeling of, not playing for so long, or at least what feels like a really long time to me. And then you sit there, you watch games, you wonder, can I do this still? I haven't been out there on the field. That's the human nature of it. You get back out there last week, and I'm like, you know what? I'm the man still. I can go do this. And then you got another test this week where I didn't know if I was going to play or not. Sure enough, ended up playing. We're playing the Eagles tonight. And the boys around me rallied tonight. And it just, gosh, it feels so good. It feels so good. I'm so proud of everybody tonight.
Yeah, it's doubt. What he's talking about is doubt. And every athlete feels that, especially when you're on the sideline a bunch. I live both lives as a backup and a starter in the league. And I can promise you it's a lot harder to be a backup. It's a lot harder to be a backup because you never know when your number is going to get called. And then not only are you thrown into action, but the expectations are there should be no drop off here. The expectation is you go out there and you perform just as good as any of the other starters on the football field. And it doesn't matter when your number gets called. It could be in the middle of the third quarter and it's freezing cold at Lambeau Field. And, a starting offensive lineman goes down in my case, or in the case of a Drew Lock, Geno Smith, his groin goes out. And then you have to finish a game for him. Mm-hmm. It's nerve wracking. And there are times where you're on the sideline for a while in your career and you're just like, if I do go out there, am I still the same player was the last time I was on the field?
Right.
And so that's what he's talking about. And for him to have a finish like that, man, it fills up your cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing I love about Drew Lock and the reason I liked him out in Denver was the guy has fun on the field. He has fun. He has fun out on the sidelines. He gets people fired up. I just wish it was consistent game after game. I have seen Drew Lock do this before where he has one fantastic game and then the next one it's a complete downturn.
Where's your jersey?
I didn't wear it. Was I supposed to wear it?
I thought you said you were going to wear it.
You said you were going to iron that sucker.
It was
wrinkly. It looked like the last time you took it out, you crumpled it up and threw it down on the floor.
I did because I was angry over this trade. All right? I was angry. I didn't want Drew Lock to go to the Seahawks with Noah Fant, by the way, which I still feel like Broncos got burned on this one.
Hey, but at least now Russ and Sean Payton absolutely hate each other.
Yeah,
you got that going for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. There's a nice breakup happening there.
Dude, you see a reporter asked Sean Payton, they were like, so what were you and Russ yelling at each other about? He said, it's none of your business what I was talking to Russ about.
Listen, we were like, what do you want for dinner? And he was like, I don't care. And I'm like, you obviously do care. And he said, no, I don't care. And he said, okay, Carl's Jr. And he said, I hate Carl's Jr. So I said, see, you do care.
And then I made Clams Casino, and you were like, well, I'm not eating today. Are you kidding me?
You got to be out of your mind. Come on.
Guys, did something happen at home last night? We okay?
I think it's fine.
Don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Well, yeah, we were talking about it. Monday Night Football last night. Drew Lock and the Seattle Seahawks take down the Philadelphia Eagles 20-17. Eagles dropped to 10-4. Jalen Hurts only went 17 for 31 and 143 yards. No touchdowns.
Overrated.
2 picks. Drew Lock, 22 for 33, 208 yards and a touchdown. Seahawks improved to 7-7. They're now tied with the Bucks, the Vikings, and the Rams in the playoff hunt. They're all 7-7. In baseball, former Padre Matt Carpenter was traded to Atlanta over the weekend. Then yesterday, they released him.
Don't worry, the Padres are still paying him.
Right.
Yeah, Yeah, so they were like, no way out of this bad contract. So
Between
I guess just take off.
Hosmer and Carpenter, the Padres are paying something like $14 million next year to those two guys.
Wow.
Good. No problem.
It's got them just where they want.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun. In the NBA, the Bulls beat Philadelphia 108-104. Cleveland beats Houston. I was like, what is the score? 135-130.
That was overtime, so they have an excuse.
It's good. How about the Clippers over Indiana? 151-127.
How about the Lakers? They hung their banner last night.
Yeah,
They hung their banner, and then the New York Knicks ruined their banner raising party. They lose in regulation. Yeah, I watched the end of that game too. We'll get to that in a little bit because I have some thoughts on LeBron James and what we saw last night. But I want to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles side. We spent a lot of time talking about the Seattle Seahawks there, and for good reason. That was a gutsy win, 7-7, playoff prospects still very much so alive. NFC West, very difficult division. I believe they have 2 divisional opponents coming up to cap their season. But you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, who are right now in a 3-game slide. And this is where I want to start my morning monologue. So I keep forgetting we haven't opened. Yeah, you're damn right.
Yeah.
I haven't had an opportunity to speak since yesterday.
Landed that plane.
Smooth takeoff, landing not so great. Okay, so Jalen Hurts. I love this guy. I think Jalen Hurts is a leader. I think he's a talented football player. I think this is probably a game he should have missed. And so if he's not healthy, the Eagles have no chance. If he's not 100% heading into the season or the postseason, closest thing to it, the Eagles are going to get knocked out of the playoffs in the opening round. So over these last 3 games, they've been outscored 85-49.
Ouch.
Not only are they getting beat, I mean, they're getting beat pretty soundly. Last night was a close game. That withstanding, this has not been a great stretch for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the biggest problem has been this defense. So Matt Patricia, he actually pitched a pretty good game last night as defensive coordinator and defensive play caller for the Eagles yesterday. The Seahawks only hung 20 points on them, but that was with a backup quarterback. The past 2 games before that, they got absolutely rolled. So the problems aren't offensively for the Eagles. They should have given Jalen the night off. They should have somehow found a way to say, look, lower body injury, you got the flu this week. It's okay to lay the sword down for just 1 game. Let Mariota take it here. This way we can be healthy for the stretch run, because if he's not, kiss the Eagles' prospects of making any sort of postseason run goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm going to do my morning monologue here in the form of a letter to Commissioner Roger Goodell. Dear Commissioner Goodell, after watching various games over the past several weeks, it has become apparent that you have decided to side with 31 of the 32 NFL team owners and eliminate the tush push.
Oh.
However, you have decided to eliminate the play in the most underhanded way possible. The refs in the games appear to be under the direction of management to call offsides or false starts when there is no foul to be called. I've watched it game after game over the past few weeks here, and it's getting very irritating. So are we penalizing teams for having athletic ability now? Did we penalize Tom Brady for his ability to see things other quarterbacks couldn't? Did we penalize Peyton Manning for his ability to dissect the defense? Does a flag get thrown when Josh Allen winds up that howitzer of an arm? Or should we stop Tyreek Hill from outrunning everyone on the field? No, the answer is no, damn it. Why do the Eagles get penalized for having a better offensive line than anyone else? This is like we're playing Monopoly, right? Thank you. I roll a 7.
Beautiful.
I land on community chest, but then the refs come in and say, no, he rolled a 9. Now he's got to pay property tax instead of collecting $10 in a beauty pageant. It doesn't work for me. Listen, Roger, if you change the rules in the middle of the game, you water down the product, you make me not want to watch it. So tread lightly here, buddy. Also, please take into consideration the amount of primetime and televised games on whatever team you send Zach Wilson to, because, you know, his mom.
Yeah, well, yeah. Good point. Good point.
Oh,
I'm glad.
did you? Zach Wilson's mom has something to say.
About
Maybe we can play the audio a little later.
Zach Wilson's mom?
No, Zach Wilson's mom talking about Zach Wilson's concussions.
I heard it. I heard it.
100%. We will play that sound clip for our listeners, and then we will spend most of that segment quietly Google imaging searching.
Well, don't worry, there's video.
Fantastic.
Good.
Excellent. Okay.
Thank God.
So do you guys remember a couple weeks back, things on this show took a turn from the normal Big Rich, TD, and Fletch love fest that it is, and got a little dark, a little heavy, a little heated, and it was a big debate.
Killed someone.
It was you two against me.
We
And
did.
I, for one,
Gotta have
for the first time in like a decade, defended the Padres. That is not a mistake I will ever make again, because guess what? Dennis Lynn writes a couple days ago now, the Padres, who racked up a luxury tax bill of close to $40 million in 2023, would prefer to reset their penalty level next season. While things can change, that could mean a payroll comfortably below $200 million. So I read between the lines here and I say, well, the first reports that we saw that they're going to take the 256 and take it down to 200. They're going to use the money they saved from Juan Soto to bring in some talent, bring in some pitchers, bring in some outfielders. They're not going to do that. No, San Diego. What they're going to do is get all the way down gulp to 150.
Oh, yeah.
This team is going to head into 2024 with a $150 million payroll. Rich and Travis were right. This is going to be a tough year. Now, while you still have the 4 stars, I just don't know what the pitching rotation is going to look like with you, Darvish, getting older, Joe Musgrove getting older, both of them finishing last year on the IL. Buckle up, San Diego. The Padres are officially back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet.
This we're going to get into this a little bit more later on. It doesn't look great. I'm not going to say it looks all that bad because, I'm not taking the other side of the coin.
Is still going to be top 10 in the league.
It's going to be a lot of money spent, but it's uncomfy to think like, wow, how exciting. We're signing everyone to these long-term contracts. And then all of a sudden, the front office steps in and goes, yeah, so we planned on winning some World Series and we won no World Series. So we're going to save a little bit of money here
The
this
plan
year.
was to have already won a World Series. Okay, well, 2 of the last 3 seasons have been utter disappointments.
Right.
Now, remember through the past season, we talked to Kevin Acee about potential to slash payroll. And what did he keep saying? He's like, well, they need to do what the Dodgers do, which is get your superstars, get your high-paid pieces, which the Padres already have stuck in place for the next decade, and then supplement it with cheap, young players. Maybe that's what they're doing here. I just don't see who the cheap young players are who are making a big difference.
Yeah.
Which that's the problem that the Dodgers always have. They always have someone young who's near the top of the league in whatever categories are respected for that position. The Padres just don't have that.
Well, it's hard because you are seeing superstars leave the Padres team, and there's nothing on the horizon that looks like
one superstar.
Okay, superstar, and then some other names that we know leave the team here, and then there's nothing on the horizon showing that they're going to be replaced. Now, that doesn't mean the Padres can't win. That doesn't mean that maybe some of the dysfunction that we talked about, that we complained about this past season, gets righted in some manner. So maybe that happens. However, it just feels like we're losing some of the best and it's not being replaced.
Yeah.
Now, again, 150 is still going to be in the top half of the league, probably top 15, top 10 in payroll. So it's like that is different from the Padres of old. But the fact that they're taking $100 million off this payroll from last year, most likely, is disgusting.
What's the Diamondbacks payroll?
It's low.
Nothing.
Low.
It's
Right.
nothing. Yeah.
So spending the money doesn't mean, that's the only way you win. The
Diamondbacks drafted and developed extremely well. The Padres drafted, developed, and traded.
All right.
Okay.
Hold that thought because I do want to get into that at length in the 7:00 hour. The Padres payroll, it's a tricky situation. We'll definitely get back to that. But speaking of superstars, LeBron James did what? We'll get into that on the other side. But first, I want to talk to you about Ocean View Dental. Look, everybody gets recommendations, right? Everybody, you hear from somebody, oh, you got to watch this new Netflix show. You hear from somebody, oh, yeah, I drive this new car and, oh, I love it. You hear from somebody about a recipe. Well, recommendations, sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. One of the best recommendations I've ever received in my life was from LaDonna Harvey about Dr. Jordan Colby over at Ocean View Dental. And I'm not even a little bit joking about this. So I needed a tooth extracted. I needed 3 of the back teeth replaced. I needed implants put in, the molars, right? And I didn't know who to turn to because my dentist told me that it was going to be a 1.5 year process. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, how do you even get started with that? He was going to send me to one office to get dental x-rays and advanced imaging. And then I was going to have to meet with an oral surgeon for a consultation, then come back to my original dentist and go to this other place. It was just so much. I just didn't even know where to start. And then I met Dr. Jordan Colby of Ocean View Dental. And he talked to me about his process. He talked to me about his specialty, which is implants. And after doing my homework and meeting with him, I trusted him 100%. He's built this world-class, family-oriented dental practice over at Ocean View Dental. He's got one in Fallbrook as well. It provides amazing dental care, personal, professional attention you and your family deserve. He's got the latest in advanced technology, including digital x-rays, 3T CT imaging, dental lasers, Invisalign veneers, whatever you need, he's got it at the office. And it all happens at one office. Like I told you, my former dentist was going to send me all over San Diego, all over Southern California to get this one procedure done. Instead, I went to Dr. Jordan Colby, and within 3 months, I had brand new teeth. I had everything fixed. I didn't miss a day of work. I wasn't in any pain. I didn't experience any swelling. You got to go see my friend, my dentist, Dr. Jordan Colby, over at oceanviewdental.net. And that's what he's become. He's become fast friends. I really appreciate the way I'm treated over at his office. And now this is my family's dentist, and it should be for yours as well. Again, that website, oceanviewdental.net, oceanviewdental.net. LeBron James, the freak show continues. We got to get into what he accomplished last night. That's next.
This update is presented by Macy's Backstage. Starting off in the NFL, last night the Seahawks took down the Eagles 2017 behind a last-minute game-winning touchdown drive led by Seahawks backup quarterback Drew Lock. NBA, Lakers lose to the Knicks 114-109. Bulls beat the Sixers 108-104. Cavs took down the Rockets in overtime 135-130. College hoops, Aztecs returning to action tonight against St. Catharines at Viejas Arena. Tip-off at 7. We'll be on the air with pregame coverage beginning at 6 o'clock. What will you find at a Macy's Backstage? How about the perfect holiday gifts? Just $25 and under, like matching family PJs, fragrance sets, toys, and more. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Big Rich, GD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Happy Tuesday as we are rolling towards our Christmas spectacular this Friday. We got a lot of fun things planned. You are going to want to tune in for the whole 3 hours this Friday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a party.
That's the day we get fired, by the way.
Why?
I don't know. Fired. I mean, maybe a stern talking to at the end of it.
Well, you think?
But
I think we're going to be
if
so
things-
sore from all the high fives.
If things go sideways, even in the slightest,
Like what?
you know exactly.
okay,
what.
listen. And I mean this seriously. The only way we could get in big trouble is if there's and I mean this, you'll understand once we get to Friday. Like if there's a dead animal at some point at the end of the show, then we're in deep trouble.
I'm more
outside of
thinking
that-
about messes.
No. All that can be remedied very
we
quickly.
can fix that.
We got Lysol wipes.
Yeah. I'm going to bring in the shop vac.
Oh, also,
Dude,
I
these
have
carpets have like microfibers. Even
No. These carpets are stained with Bar Cart Friday.
we can bring. I have a tarp at home. Okay, so
Oh, we don't need this. Is crazy talk.
the only thing
It's
that
so dry when it comes out.
it's a good point. The only thing that our listeners, that's a really good point. The only thing our listeners really need to know about Friday is you have to listen.
Right.
Because we're going to be doing some things in the studio. I promise you have never been done in this
maybe
studio.
in the history of sports radio.
Maybe the history of radio.
Maybe.
Dude, yeah,
Yeah.
actually, that's pretty
All I
great.
know is when we do bits, other radio people take the bits.
Yeah, they
okay,
do. They
see
steal
Joe Rogan for details.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Dude, they got a Mount Crushmore.
The Freedom Funnel, Mount Crushmore. We started doing that months and months and months ago, and now on his podcast, which arguably one of the most listened to podcasts in the world,
Just by like a little bit more than us.
Yeah.
Like only like
couple.
39.9 million people more than us.
You know what that says to me? Because we have our, humble million or so listeners. What we need to do is we need to get a new funnel. We need to maybe create our own. Maybe we could link arms with a funnel making company.
Can we do that?
A dragon.
A freedom dragon.
Damn.
That's pretty good. Wow.
Is that just off the top of your head?
Yeah.
Or even thinking about it?
Wow.
Just sucking down cold beers out of the tail of a dragon? Are
you know what
kidding
doesn't
me?
work is a skull funnel.
No, we found that out the hard way.
Yeah.
You gotta have enough
City.
room at the funnel part of it. It needs to be a wide opening,
Right,
a gaping
right.
hole, if you will.
Also, we have Holiday Bowl tickets that we're going to be giving away, which also includes the KGB Sky Show. That's happening next Wednesday, December 27th. Also, we have 2 pairs of tickets to go see the Aztecs take on St. Catherine's tonight, Viejas Arena, tip-off 7 p.m. Tickets and info at goaztecs.com. But you're going to want to keep listening for those. And if you want those Aztec tickets, make sure you're available tonight.
In fact, for one of those pairs of tickets, listen for the next 6 minutes.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So
Okay.
we're going to be doing our first ticket giveaway here in this segment. So be listening for that. Okay. So LeBron James last night in a losing effort scores 25 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. Anthony Davis, he had 34 points. He added 14 rebounds. Like a good night for the superstars on the Lakers, but the rest of the supporting cast really sucked. They barely, it was just a lot of bricks. 30 tick over 33% in terms of percentage from the floor. It was a cold night from the support staff, but it was banner raising night at crypto.com arena, in-season tournament winners. So there was some pomp and circumstance.
No, there wasn't.
The Knicks ruined the party, though. They get the win. However, with all of that stuff, right? Because LeBron James always scores somewhere in the mid-20s. Triple-double, he's done that so many times during his career. Anthony Davis, great player. But focusing just on what LeBron James did for a second, at 38 years old, soon to be 39, December 30th. So we're 11 days away from his 39th birthday. That was his 109th triple-double of his career.
It was his third straight, too.
Wow. Wow.
How is this happening?
Now, can we be honest about the triple-double at the NBA level? It's gotten a little easier to do since the days that Oscar Robinson was pouring them in every night.
I don't disagree with that.
Like defenses have gotten a little more lazy. Nobody boxes out anymore. It's literally one and done on every single possession. So rebounds come a little more easily. Defenses are pretty lackadaisical now, so assists come a little more easily.
You think? Listen to some of these scores, by the way.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
143, 131, 130, 125, 116, 112, 130, 135, 130, 151, 127. What the hell is going on?
Teams are scoring 150 points on a regular basis. That used to be All-Star games and All-Star games only.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything.
It used to take the Clippers 3 games to get 150 points.
Yeah. Try your hardest for a second. And I know it's difficult because I feel the same way you guys do. I'm a kid of the 90s. I grew up watching, some of the best basketball, in my opinion, that ever played. 90s basketball was incredible.
Insane.
But having what LeBron James at 38 and almost 39 years old is doing is unfathomable. Like, he's still better than the wide majority of the NBA. And I know he's a singular talent, and I know that certain people, it just seems like they're touched by the finger of God. Like, they're different from the rest of us. But physiologically, how is his body keeping up? How are the ligaments still intact? How is he able to concentrate for, the required 48 minutes a night? It blows my mind.
It is incredible. And a lot of credit goes to LeBron. He spends a ton of money on his body every single year. He never has an off season because he's constantly in the gym getting better.
What is he spending that money on, though? Like, what are we talking about when you say he's spending all that money on his body?
Shaving cream
we don't know about, by the way.
What? How do you know he's spending an insane amount of money on his
There's
body.
been articles written about it. Him and Russell Wilson spend like $1 million a year in the offseason on their bodies.
How much does I'm curious? Does
What do you buy
LeBron
for
Now-
your body?
But when you say unfathomable, it's not, because we saw Tom Brady do it.
Yeah,
And Tom Brady did it, and I would argue a higher level.
He
It's
spends
more than $1 million.
roughly $1.5 million annually on body health and maintenance.
He uses cryotherapy, hyperbaric chambers, Normatec leg boots, etc.
Like this is
hold
fountain
on,
of misinformation, my ass.
hold on.
go ahead.
This money also goes to personal trainers, chefs.
Yeah,
All the food that's spent, all the nutrients or whatever.
Look up Russell Wilson's. His is crazy too.
yeah, he spends a lot of money too. I know that, but like, so is it just though? Okay, all right. So you bring it up, personal training, right? Dietitian, nutritionist, personal chef. I mean, you could pay for all the advanced health equipment in the world. Like, still, you're not getting to that stage. Like, you're not playing basketball like LeBron James. Like, I know that he's different from the rest of us, but I'm curious if we're not hurtling toward another one of those times where we revise history and we look back at this era differently. Because is it possible that these athletes have found the fountain of youth and it's something that is going to be deemed illegal to use in sport later on? Because how is this happening?
Yeah.
He's almost 39. I mean, think about when, like, go back to the 90s or the 80s or the early 2000s, whenever you were young, and think about what a 40-year-old looked like to you back then.
Without a doubt.
It looks like somebody was like almost dead at 40.
Right.
Yeah, we had this exact conversation yesterday about the top Pornhub category.
That's a great point.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
Mature is.
Grandma doesn't mean the same thing today that it did 10 years ago.
You're damn right about that.
Do you remember the show or the movie Father of the Bride?
Yes.
Okay. Father of the Bride.
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin and his wife, both gray-haired, right? Elderly parents. They were 45. They were 45
Okay,
in
that's
the movie.
crazy.
That was the age that they gave.
Steve Martin in that movie. Okay, Steve Martin in that movie is only 6 years older than LeBron James now. What the hell is going on? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Now, I also wouldn't be surprised if a handful of years ago, around the time LeBron was turning 30, right? So what is that, a decade ago now, almost? I wouldn't be surprised if there were conversations around the league like, guys, look, the NBA career used to be 7-8 years. It used to be like the NFL because of how hard everyone played on defense, because of how many injuries there were, so the NBA career used to be shortened. Michael Jordan didn't have a long career. He just had an extremely successful career.
Yeah.
But you look at what LeBron James has done in the era that he's grown up in, all of a sudden guys don't get hit anymore. Like, it's not a super physical brand of basketball anymore. And you could blame that on the 3-point shot. And personally, I do. But I do wonder if there were conversations around the league like, guys, let's just focus on keeping each other healthy. That way we all get generational wealth coming to us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know if it was necessarily a concern. Well, I don't think like players conspired to change how the game was played. I think it sort of evolved naturally. But I do think that there's a little bit more brother-in-lawing than has ever happened at the NBA level. Like, a team will wave the white flag and all of a sudden you'll see the opponent sort of back off, so it's an interesting revelation. I don't know if it's necessarily organized, but boy, I mean, 38 years old, 39. He's going to be 39 on December 30th.
Right.
I just can't wrap my head
Russell
around
Wilson, by the way, spends $1 million, so completely cheaps out on his body.
it. What a
Dumb.
loser.
We see how well that's going for him.
Yep,
Mhm.
doesn't work. You think somebody wants to go see the Aztecs take on St. Catharines tonight at Viejas Arena? Tip off 7 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm going to be courtside.
Tickets and info. Go Aztecs.com. You're going to be courtside?
Yeah, sitting right next to Uncle Teddy.
Wow.
Lucky
look at that.
SOB.
Yeah, wow. 877-570-1360. Caller number
5.
Caller number 5. Right now, you're going to go see the Aztecs take on St. Catharines tonight, Viejas Arena.
All right, coming up next, I'm coming home. We're going to get into that. But before we do, want to talk about the reducing waistline and the waistline and the lost weight over the past 5 months now. Geez, it's been 5 months. All right. So we were introduced to SDFatLoss.com 5 months ago as a show. And I think the 4 of us were dubious that this was going to work for us, especially considering how much we love food and how little it seemed we cared about our future health. Unlike Russell Wilson and LeBron James, we were not spending $1 million to $1.5 million on our physique.
Nope. Turns out
you
can spend a lot less than that.
We were spending that at the drive-thru.
Exactly.
We needed to get back on track, and with our friends over at sdfatloss.com, and I do mean friends because Dr. Wayne and Chloe have quickly become some of our favorite people. They're really influential in our lives, all three of us, individually and together. So Wayne and Chloe, the weight loss team that you'll be introduced to over at sdfatloss.com, they'll guide you through the process. You'll have your initial free, by the way, consultation, and they'll sit down and explain exactly what you're going to be going through on this plan. There are no gimmicks here. It's real food. It's no counting points. It's no counting calories. It's no gross prepackaged meals or shakes. It's just a little effort on your part and a lot of hard work on Wayne and Chloe's part. And trust me when I tell you, they take care of and thought of everything. So if you're nervous or hesitant about another plan that's not going to work for you, trust me, this is going to be very different. 858-665-3211 is the number to call. I'll say the website again, sdfatloss.com. And if you're holding off for the new year, this is a perfect time to jump in. SD Fat Loss is offering a $200 off holiday special now through New Year's Eve. So lock in the savings now. You could even schedule your date to get started in the new year. So really exciting time to get involved. sdfatloss.com. That's sdfatloss.com. Woo! Oh man, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. If you're listening on the free iHeartRadio app, keep on listening. We love it that way. No question
right.
about it.
I'm going to bring in the off-air conversation to the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
Are we?
offensive linemen wear cups?
No,
Why?
mostly not. Cups. I don't know how to describe it. They kind of get in the way.
So I know, like, when I played first base, I discarded the cup because,
Yeah.
like, if you would stretch or anything, it could really dig into your thigh and it actually hurt worse.
Yeah, I would say like cups probably in sport for guys are mainly only worn by like mixed martial artists, boxers, and
If you play third base or shortstop, you
Wait,
have to
hang
have
on.
it. There's
Like-
no
like a
it-
baseball
also.
catcher. Yeah,
When you played lacrosse.
I did not.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Holy
So
I
smokes.
Jordan
tried.
Mailata, he took one right to the family jewels last night, and it looked so painful because it was one of those situations where he did his job. He stood up the defensive lineman, and then the guy jumped to try to block a pass, and the knee just went straight up.
God.
And
Yuck.
Mailata immediately doubled over, and I was like, I know that feeling, but why isn't he wearing a cup?
Dude,
Hmm.
it's so they like you were just describing, they do like dig into your legs. And when I was so give you an example. When I was playing professionally, I could squat almost 700 pounds.
Good Lord.
Like Jalen Hurts over
Yeah.
here. We could push you.
No, but it wasn't for one. Like I could do reps. Like
Oh,
Jalen Hurts,
geez.
that's like a 1 rep max. Like I was a big strong boy. I was a really, really strong boy. And I had these giant quads, right? I mean, gigantic legs. If I try to wear a cup and sandwich that between those two friggin' ham hocks, dude, there would be so much chafing. It would be the worst decision of my life.
All right, well, we got another one to add to the TikTok series.
Yeah.
Do
Right.
NFL players pee themselves regularly? Do NFL players wear cups? We got to get off that one region.
Yeah.
Well,
good
that's
point,
really the
yeah.
region that we think about, though.
People are curious
Yeah.
about football players' junk.
So everyone wants to know.
We're also curious about football players' moms.
That's right. That's right. Do we have time for this?
Oh,
Or are we
we're
just going to
not-
make time for it?
Damn it, we ran out of time. You know what?
We
No,
can do
no,
it
no.
right at 7.
Okay, we'll do
yeah,
it right
yeah.
at 7.
Yeah.
Times has changed and times is strange. Here I come, but I ain't the same.
Mhm. Mama, I'm coming home. I love Ozzy Osbourne
Same.
ballads.
Oh, all day long.
Dude,
All day long.
in fact, our rejoin coming back. No, trust me, we got to
Yeah.
play Mama, I'm Coming Home. It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah. All right. Fletch
Wait.
has given us those
Yeah.
eyes.
What? Are you trying to make us beat feet out of here?
Yeah, that's fine. And while we're doing that, might as well throw in our arch supports from the Good Feet store. Woo! Yeah, love those. Okay, so Good Feet store, they have 200 plus locations in the United States and overseas. Goodfeet.com is where you can schedule your first and free consultation. Try before you buy, test walk. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know I had arches. I apparently do. In fact, everybody has 4 arches in their feet. That's something I learned during my initial consultation, and they support all of those arches. So you walk in and you say, well, why would I need arch supports? Well, if you've ever experienced lower body joint pain, that's the reason why. Your feet are the foundation for the rest of your body. And so it really does influence how the rest of your body feels. Ankle pain, foot pain, knee pain, hip pain, back pain, all of it could be the way you stand, the way you walk, and the Good Feet store can correct all of that for you. I know it worked for me, and we were just talking about it. Long NFL career, really crummy back when I finished up my career, and I've had great pain relief over at the Good Feet store. So again, start your journey at goodfeet.com. Coming up next, we'll get into, Mrs. Wilson, I should say, not Zach Wilson.
Yeah, right. He's right.
I'm sorry, Miss
Mrs.
Wilson.
I am for real. Also, Padres payroll problems, and we got holiday poll tickets on the other side. That's next.
This update is presented by Macy's Backstage. Beginning in the NFL, last night Seahawks took down the Eagles 20-17 behind a last-minute game-winning touchdown drive led by Seahawks backup quarterback and former Denver Broncos starting quarterback Drew Lock. NBA, Lakers lose to the Knicks 114-109. Bulls beat the Sixers 108-104. Cavs took down the Rockets in overtime 135-130. College hoops, Aztecs returning to action tonight against St. Catharines. And good news, guys, I know everyone was worried. Jaden Ledee going to be playing tonight. Tip off at 7. We're going to be on the air with pregame coverage beginning at 6. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about the perfect holiday gifts? Just $25 and under, like matching family PJs, fragrance sets, toys, and more. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you. You better still scream.
This is so good. There's not really
You're
room
supposed to
for
scream.
it.
Yeah, I don't know if there's room for a scream. Maybe right as it kicks in.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll try.
We're gonna
The
try
scream tells our listeners we're back.
I know.
And it
But this-
invokes passion for the
Wait,
hour.
here it
We
is,
are
here it
back.
is.
Golly. Yeah, that's Mike Inez on the bass. That's Zach Wild on guitar. Woo!
This does nothing for you?
A better
Not without the
friend
scream.
to me. Mama, I'm coming home. Yeah! Oh, it doesn't break in right there.
That doesn't really
Let
work.
it go.
I know, yeah.
We're back. It's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch at San Diego Sports 760. Happy Tuesday to those who celebrate.
Yeah.
Check all the boxes.
Yeah, that does it. That
Yeah.
does it. Dude, Ozzy Osbourne, it was this one, and also he released a new ballad. I shouldn't say new. It was in the 2000s though, and I'm blanking
With
on
Post
the name.
Malone, because that one was sick.
Oh,
It wasn't
I,
really a ballad.
I don't know if I've heard that one.
You find that one.
Yeah, yeah.
That
yeah.
song's awesome.
Play Ozzy and Posty.
That'll be next.
Okay, all right. Well, we could do a whole Osbourne hour here.
It's Aussie
It's-
Tuesday.
This is
Ozzy
the Christmas
Tuesday.
week. We can do whatever we want.
It's a good point. Solid point. It is a solid point. It's just us and you, whoever you are listening right now on the free iHeartRadio app. Streaming us live.
One person.
it's just us and you.
Congratulations on winning all the tickets today.
Yeah, actually, we still have a great pair of tickets coming up. Holiday Bowl tickets. If you want to see USC taking on Louisville, you're going to get an opportunity to win those. That's coming up at Petco Park next Wednesday. Kickoff 5 p.m. We're going to carry it here on San Diego Sports 760. Those tickets also give you entry to KG, which immediately follows the Holiday Bowl. So we're thrilled to be affiliated with all that. Another year on the call for me and John Schaefer. And then also, we just gave away the St. Catharines ticket. They're coming to town to play the Aztecs tonight. Tip off 7 p.m. Who won those? You remember? Was it Joey, Jack, Megan, Sally?
I'll have to look back at the name, but we also have
Sally-
another pair
Sally
of
calls
those
them a
tickets
lot.
to give away.
Yeah.
So there's more Aztec tickets to give away later in the show.
Oh, we have another
one more pair,
Oh,
yeah.
sweet. Okay.
Look
All
at
right.
that.
So more hoops tickets to give away as well.
Do you guys
Busy
want
show.
me to put the link to the video in the rundown so you can look at Zach Wilson's mom while we hear from her?
1,000%. Yes. I
Definitely
mean,
do. Thank you for that. Yes. So Zach Wilson's mom apparently hopped on IG. She's got a lot to say about her son's health. You know what's really not great? And I can tell you
when
this,
your mom jumps on Instagram to defend you.
yeah, like just in general, like when you're an athlete, whether it be at the collegiate level or the professional level,
Mhm.
at some point, you're going to want to wrangle in mom.
Well-
You're going to want to have mom maybe sit a couple plays out for you and just be like, you know, listen, I know I'm 24, but I look like I'm 16 still. But could we just cool it?
Right. Right.
Well, Zach Wilson's mama, she didn't get the message. Here's her talking about her son's concussions.
Live from the cafe at the trampoline park. Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, she's drinking a 22-ounce Bud Light. They were on special, and the grandkids are in the back just going ham. No,
All she's saying is she not getting him in trouble?
oh no. So everything about this is wrong.
Like the New York Jets are in trouble. He's in trouble.
Well, look, it's your own health, so there's a little bit of wiggle room there. Like, if you're not 100% reporting your own symptoms, that happens all the time. In fact, Dr. David Chow is a perfect person to talk to about this because he's experienced this many times over the course of his career as a team physician, orthopedic surgeon. When you're tasked with going on the football field and telling a player, hey, you got to come with me, your day is done, and they refuse treatment and they say, I'm fine, there's not a whole lot you can do about that. You know, especially if the coaches agree, like, oh, no, he's fine. He's going to stay out there.
But isn't that the whole point of the independent neurotraumatic whatever?
Right. So that person objectively, so
they're not paid by either team.
No.
They're paid by the league to see signs of a concussion and to see hits that require evaluation and pull them aside and do the evaluation.
Yeah. So anybody who's not informed, what Fletch is talking about is something the league instituted the last CBA, which is having an independent neuro doctor on the sideline or in the booth whose job is to view from afar objectively any signs or symptoms of concussion. Now, if they miss it,
or any hits that would lead you to be suspicious about a concussion.
yeah, if they miss it though, it's not incumbent on the player to self-report, especially if you feel like you can still play. So that's what Zach Wilson was experiencing. Here's the problem with all this. We should hear that from Zach Wilson.
Right.
We maybe should hear that from Zach Wilson's agent. Even that's a little weird. We should hear that from the New York Jets, perhaps, if Zach Wilson is cool with the Jets talking about that as freely as she just did publicly. But the last person on the planet who should be talking about a football player's health is his mom on Instagram Live.
Yeah.
What the hell is she thinking?
All right, let's call Rich's mom. Patty, is that her name?
Patty Ornberger, yeah.
Patty the Batty. That's what they called her.
She used to fight him in the UFC. She ate a ton of pizza.
But could you imagine
Loves Jericho.
ever once during your career, your mom grabbing her phone and being like, I'm going to put up a tweet about Richard?
No. In fact, so one of the things that Belichick said to us in our team meetings when we first got to New England was, it's not your family's fault. It's not your friend's fault. It's not anybody who cares about you or knows you's fault. That they don't know what the hell they're talking about, but they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So they all need to basically shut up.
Look, they were trying, she was trying to save face for what was being said about Zach Wilson because it was very weird how he came off the field. It was very weird what was announced of, he has a concussion. No, it's hydration. Nope, it's a concussion. So I get what mom's trying to do here, but yeah, don't do it. There's no reason for you to do it. In fact, if you didn't do it, we'd all forgotten about it by now.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be talking about it.
So she's carrying along the story. The other problem with it is it smacks to me of somebody who's glomming off the fame of her son. So Zach Wilson.
She's auditioning for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Yeah, it sort of feels
Is she
to
gonna be
me.
on that? I would watch that.
I would watch the hell out of that.
Do you watch The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City right now?
It's actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
No.
It's one of the best ones.
Hang on a
Whitney's
second.
drama. Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's connections to the Greek mafia going on.
There's a lot happening.
Okay, what is it? Real Housewives.
Have you not watched any of SLC?
I haven't watched any of this, but I want to look up the cast real quick.
Mhm.
Okay, Real Housewives.
Just look up
of
Whitney. She's the only one that matters.
Salt Lake City. Okay, cast. Here we go.
She's the only one that matters.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is a show she could be on. And what's the one you guys like? What's her name? Whitney. Okay,
I don't know that I like her.
but
What-
you maybe like looking at.
Well,
it?
Whitney also does some questionable things
Oh, yeah.
with her
They're all-
husband.
These are the shadiest people in the world.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, dude, yeah.
And they're all trash bag
yeah.
human beings, by the way.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why there's a TV show about them.
which you never really figure out how they have this money. Like,
Oh.
I mean, where do all the housewives get money from?
There's a lot of fake money in this country, though. There's a lot of people who like go to work. They're not even 100% sure what they do every day. They just know that they have people they need to call, meetings they have to attend, and then they go home with, $300,000 a year. And at the end, when they meet up at the ski lodge, they have these high level conversations. But if you really ask them, like, so what exactly do you do for that company? They don't know. They don't really.
I got
know.
that, Uncle.
Yeah. And dude, that's cool.
I wish I had that job.
Fake businesses and fake money. I mean, it's the American way. Oh my God, is that Whitney?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
So wasn't it her and her husband that did the like these weird videos? I say weird.
I don't really watch these shows. Kendall watches them. They're on in the background while I'm watching something on the iPad. But every once in a while I look up and Whitney's on the screen. I'm like, oh, who's that?
Let me ask this question. Are there any videos like adjacent to like the things that are on the television?
I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, because we're going to need to discover some of those. Look, here's the deal. Like,
Patty Ornberger would never get on Instagram and talk about Rich Ornberger's health.
Yeah, my mom,
Patty the Batty.
My wife, at the time we were dating, like anybody I was involved with, whether it be a friendship or a familial relationship or a romantic relationship, like nobody needs to hear from those people. Like, this is my career. These are my decisions. This is my health. And to have your mom come out and make a scene like this, it's such a bad look for not only for Zach Wilson, but also for the New York Jets in whole. I mean, this is their starting quarterback.
I want to really stress the timeline here, but everyone had that person in high school whose dad would talk to the coach after every game.
Oh yeah.
Everyone had that person in high school who you could hear the mom from the crowd, right, yelling about her son. He's being too rough on my Bubba. Yeah. Everyone knows that person.
Are you okay?
Yes.
There's a reason that stays in high school. And when it gets to college, by the way, that player usually doesn't play very much.
They don't like in high school either.
No.
By the way, just a heads up.
Tom Brady Sr. used to do radio interviews, and it used to be
remember that. He still does.
Yeah.
He'll go on with Jim Gray. 2
or 3 times a year, he would hop on the radio. And I think, frankly, the reason why that started happening was because Tom Brady has like a full-on rebuke, like a middle finger to Bill Belichick when their relationship was going sideways. Tom Brady's dad could say some of the things that Brady wanted to say publicly, but couldn't. And so that was a way for him to, in a backhanded way, cut a little bit deeper into Belichick than he would be able to do publicly. So I think he was using his father as a tool. Now, I'm not really in support of that either. I don't think it's all that mature. I don't think it's all that great for your brand. It worked out fine for Brady. Zach Wilson is not Tom Brady. Zach Wilson is not the greatest of all time. He's actually one of the worst quarterbacks starting in the NFL. Like, Drew Lock is having a better season than Zach Wilson.
Well, statistically, Zach Wilson has had one game that's good.
Look, I don't think this is good.
Yeah, well, actually, just one.
That's what I said. One game.
Yeah, he's got one game. Yeah.
One game that was good.
And then the following game was this. Now his mom has to talk about it.
Yeah.
Look, whenever this occurs, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Tom Brady. I don't care if you're Zach Wilson. You can handle your own business. Yeah. You don't need your mom to go out there and do it, or your dad, or whoever. You don't even need your agent, to be quite honest. So just you can handle it, or you can have the organization handle it. That is such a better look. And it's, be a man. Come on.
All that being said, Mrs. Wilson, feel free to make videos about whatever you want, just not about Zach.
Can we call her Lisa?
Is that her name?
Lisa Wilson.
I think Ms. Wilson gives a little more of the
Ms.
Yeah.
Oh,
but isn't she married?
Yeah. She is Mrs.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
All right, college
What
hoops.
was her maiden
Aztecs are back at Viejas Arena tonight. It's going to be a 7:00 tip-off. Pre-game coverage will begin courtside at 6. Actually, we're not going to be out in front of Viejas, but there's San Diego Sports 760 tent will be out there, and there might be some goodies being given away. So make sure you get to Viejas early tonight.
Nealman?
What was that?
Wilson's better.
Nealman.
Yeah.
Lisa Nealman.
By the way, guys, Jaden Ledee has been practicing all week. Remember, he missed the last game with that elbow injury. It looks like he will be back tonight. So one of the best players in the entire country in college basketball should be back tonight. And then in the NFL, Seahawks took down the Eagles 2017 behind a last-minute game-winning drive led by Seahawks backup quarterback Drew Lock. Man, the Broncos wish they had him. NBA, Lakers lose to the Knicks 114-109 on banner-raising night. Cough, cough. Bulls beat the Sixers 108-104. Cavs beat the Rockets in OT 135-130.
Trying to find pictures of Zach Wilson's grandma for you, Fletch.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
Yeah.
Listen, your profile is still live at grannyzone.com, just to let you know. I haven't checked
Hmm.
in on
I don't
GrannyZone.com
think
in
you
a
need
little
to.
while. Let me just,
It's just been there,
just
bubbling in the background,
just-
just simmering.
hovering in the near distance. Let's see.
Like people think we've
Wow.
had the most success on TikTok on this show in terms of social media. If we're being honest, the most success we've had is grannyzone.com.
Oh, there's no doubt. We've gotten more interaction on GrannyZone.com than any other single website we've ever signed up to.
We've also plugged
Facts.
grannyzone.com for free
Yeah,
You would
so
think-
many times.
You would think they'd want to pay us by now.
that's a good point.
I mean, at least you,
Listen,
Fletch.
No, it's not me. I've
What?
never logged on once.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You kind of have
Not the
like we've
case.
been surrogates for you because there are hot gilfs in your area right now.
Dude, I don't hope this upon you, but I could easily see a world where some giant identity theft thing goes down and your name is number one on the list.
Wait a second. Are you trying to suggest that GrannyZone.com doesn't have double authentication? Isn't protecting my data as if it's Fort Knox and the gold standard relies on it?
Wow.
Wow. If you can't trust Granny Zone, then who can you trust in this country?
No kidding.
Holy smokes.
Wow, I cannot find Zach Wilson's grandma to save my life. I mean,
It's possible she's no longer with us.
well,
I
I mean,
mean,
you
it's
think there'd
possible.
still be a photo somewhere.
Probable.
Live,
Why is that probable?
I don't know.
live fast, die hard, or die young, whatever it is.
What's the age that you're into?
Yeah, what did
Like,
you? I think
27.
What's the ideal age?
The age of my wife.
like,
we-
like
no.
65 plus?
we set his range from 55 to 85 because we figured if we're gonna get a nice Grand Marquis out of some old lady's garage,
Yeah. It's like a 93 Grand Marquis with 11,000 miles on it.
This issue doesn't even make sense anymore. I got my Tacoma.
no, it's a good point.
Yeah,
that is a good point.
true.
It's a great truck, and I like. But if somebody does have a Buick Skylark
Yeah.
where
I don't want it.
That'd be
the,
sweet.
the ceiling fabric is bubbling
Yep,
down,
yep.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
but,
the only
but
thing,
really low miles. It's just because it's been in the hot garage for 27 years.
it's got 5,300 miles on it. But
grocery getter.
But the only thing holding the fabric on the ceiling is just the little light in the
Yes,
middle of the.
That's
yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
That's
the-
correct.
Yeah.
Listen, whatever car that we can get for Fletch, I hope it has a lot of ashtrays.
I already have a car.
Well,
Mm,
maybe a second car.
I don't
Yeah.
need a second car.
And like he said, a grocery getter. I'm
yeah.
telling you right now, man. Little gas every once in a while. Just make sure you start up the engine every month.
So I'm a little surprised that you guys want to spend so much time on this when you could easily be taking victory laps on me right now.
No. Look, the Padres payroll situation. We discussed this probably weeks ago now, but it has come back up, and I knew it would at some point this offseason because I saw this coming a mile away from this standpoint. Never underestimate greed. Never, ever in this country or anywhere, frankly, underestimate somebody trying to get the very last dollar out of the bottom of the barrel. Because trust me when I tell you, everybody in the front office at the Padres, they love to win. There's no question about it. They're trying to win. There's no question about that. But they're also trying to make money.
So if you're curious what Rich is talking about, Dennis Lin had an article either yesterday or the day before that basically said, in spite of reports that the Padres would just be cutting $50 million from last year to get back underneath the CBT, so they didn't go over it for a fourth consecutive season and incur a 50% tax, they are going to be actually dropping down probably close to 100 million from the CBT, which would place them around 150 going into next year, which means that Juan Soto money that they saved might not actually be spent in free agency. Now, a lot can change between now and April. Nothing is for certain right now, but it sure does look like the Padres are going to be sitting around 150, 160 in terms of payroll as we get into next season.
They're going to have to spend something. They do need pitchers. I mean,
They go at it with the guys in their minor league system, which that feels disgusting to me.
If that's the case, that's the only way this thing stays at 150, 160. I mean, we're already there. So if they want to bring in pitchers at any capacity, they'd have to spend a little money, which is going to tick that number up higher. But that's the rub, right? That's what we're looking at of like how much are you going to spend here to actually bring some talent in, or like you said, you cultivate it from what you got. But I don't think that's this season kind of a goal here.
You can get real cheap real quick. Like, trust me, for every Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado there are out there, there's hundreds of baseball players you could get at a dime a dozen who are warm bodies to throw out the problem that you need a roster.
And that's not what we were promised for this decade, though.
No, it wasn't. And that's kind of
so my argument went from being what they should be doing. You guys had the argument of what they will do, and it looks like you guys are right. And that, by the way, San Diego, a little bit of a slap in the face to you.
Well, yeah, because think about all the things that have happened over the course of these past couple of years. The promises that were made from the organization. I think that those were big dreams from Peter Sadler. And I hope that his family and that legacy and those partners of his who are still involved with the Padres haven't completely divorced themselves from that initial vision. I am hopeful of that. But the reality of the situation and all of the signs are pointing towards and indicating that this team is going to continue to cut spending and cut spending and cut spending and recoup some of the losses from what they thought were going to be World Series runs, which, frankly, an NLCS berth was great, but a very disappointing 2023 season.
2021 also.
Yeah, and 2021. Yeah, 2021 was disappointing too. So again, I don't love that I was right about this. I didn't love talking about it weeks ago when this came up. This sucks. Padres fans are getting upcharged 20% on season tickets this year.
Not to mention over the last 2 years, Petco Park on a Wednesday afternoon against the Marlins was sold out.
Right.
And that's just an example I'm throwing out there. But 10 years ago, that wasn't the case.
No.
Like when I first moved to San Diego, I could go to Petco Park and literally sit wherever I wanted at any game because there was only 10,000 people there. There was 42,000 at every single game this season.
Yeah.
School nights, late nights.
And this is,
on
again,
the
a
fun
lot can
side,
change
though,
between now and April. But if this is the case, man, it is bad look.
On the fun side, Fernando Tatis Jr. is still a Padre. He's playing down at the Dominican Winter League right now. Hit a 3-homer.
3-run home run.
Yeah, 3-run home run.
Yeah.
I could not figure out how to put those words together. But more importantly, had some custom Jordan 1 pink cleats on. He's the coolest dude ever, man.
Dude, those are sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad to have that guy. And look, I mean, and frankly, Bogarts is a baller. Machado is a great player.
Yeah.
Like this team, there are highlights here. There are great players here. There is superstar talent. But I was listening to John and Jim yesterday. I forget who said it, whether it was John Schaefer or Jim Russell on our afternoons here at 760. One of them was like, well, maybe they're going to be saving money for the trade deadline. Don't hold your breath. Do not hold your breath. If you think Superman's coming at the trade deadline and this is another down year for the Padres, you just go ahead and keep waiting.
This is an opportunity, by the way, for Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. to prove that they are Superman.
Yeah, it would be a good season for that.
Like there was a year where both of them ended up top 10 in MVP voting. Do that again. That's what you're being paid for.
Regardless, we're going to make our way down to the ballpark a good amount this year. And when I get down there, I'm going to be driving my Toyota 4Runner. I take that sucker everywhere. I got to our San Diego County Toyota dealers, and you should too. If you're searching for a new car, truck, or SUV, and you don't know where to start your search, start it over at Toyota.com. There you can find great deals on new Toyotas. You can check out all the latest offers, compare models, search inventory, find the Toyota that's just right for you. They make it easy, and they certainly made it easy for me at San Diego County Toyota dealers. So when I was searching for a new car, I didn't know what direction to go on, but I did know that I wanted a reliable vehicle. I had a lot of breakdowns with my former car. It really kind of stunk because we couldn't, toward the end, we couldn't even drive it up to LA. Like we couldn't even trust this thing, even though it was our bigger car, we couldn't even trust this thing to make it on a 120-mile journey. It was really annoying. So if you're like me, if you're sitting in this situation where you're in your driver's seat right now, or you're thinking about the car you got parked in the driveway and you can't trust it from getting from A to B, that's a terrible feeling that nobody should feel. So if you're in the market for a new car or an SUV or a truck and you're looking for reliability, look no further than Toyota. I've had no problems with the 4Runner. I've just put a little gas, a little oil in this thing, and it just runs like a tank. I absolutely love it. Also, if you're interested in going green, they got a wide range of electrified vehicles. Their Beyond Zero lineup includes hybrids, plug-in hybrids, fully electric vehicles. Again, they make it easy for you to find one that suits your lifestyle, all while making a positive impact. Get on down to your San Diego County Toyota dealers today.
Hey, it's CD. Let's talk about stfatloss.com, right? Because you're probably making that New Year's resolution list, and it's probably, I want to lose a few pounds. That's always on the list. It's always on my list, at least, but not so much this year because I lost 31 pounds just a few months ago with stfatloss.com in 8 weeks, and now I've been holding that weight off. See, that's something that doesn't happen with some of these fad diets, right? Some of the prescription medication diets, your yo-yo diet. You lose some weight, but as soon as you stop the fad diet, you gain it all back. You don't do that with stfatloss.com. And by the way, if you're thinking, I would like to start this right now, but I don't want to miss the holiday meals, you don't have to. stfatloss.com, healthy weight loss using real whole foods. That's what you're going to eat, the food you like to eat still. So come on, stfatloss.com. Go there right now. Schedule your free consultation. And if you sign up right now, SD Fat Loss offering $200 off with the holiday special now through December 31st. So you can lock in the savings right now, and you can start right now, or you can go, I'm going to save the $200, but I'm going to start this thing in January when I have the New Year's resolution plans all set. SDFatLoss.com. I'm telling you, it works. Look at the three of us here as a show. Collectively, we've lost over 120 pounds, which absolutely blows my mind because we were big fat fatties. Now, not so much. Thanks to SDFatLoss.com. Go there right now. SDFatLoss.com.
This update is presented by the Jim Betrell Real Estate Team. Starting off in the NFL, last night Seahawks took down the Eagles 27-17 behind a last-minute game-winning touchdown drive led by Seahawks backup quarterback Drew Lock. Also, as of this morning, now the Week 15 in the books, the MVP race has taken a switch. Brock Purdy now is the odds-on favorite to win MVP of the 2023 NFL season. NBA, Lakers lose to the Knicks 114-109. Bulls beat the Sixers 108-104. And the Cavs took down the Rockets in overtime 135-130. College hoops, Aztecs return to action tonight against St. Catharines at Viejas Arena. Tip-off at 7. We're going to be on the air with pregame coverage beginning at 6 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Still have a pair of tickets for that game coming up on the show today. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Betrell has the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Still have a pair of tickets to go see the Aztecs take on St. Catharines tonight. Viejas Arena, tip-off 7 p.m. Tickets and info, goaztecs.com, or keep it tuned in here to win yourself a pair. We also have another pair of, it is a pair, right? Not a 4-pack?
A pair.
Holiday Bowl. Okay. Holiday Bowl tickets, which also includes the KGB Sky Show. You can go to holidaybowl.com if you're looking to buy tickets, but keep it tuned in again for those.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Whoa. Ooh. Is it the coffee bar that we just created here in the studio?
No, but I'm curious about that.
We brought in coffee.
I say we. It was all Rich.
I'll just read this verbatim so there's no personal bias here in anything. But The Athletic releases this morning, Dak Prescott held a slight edge over Brock Purdy as the favorite to win the NFL MVP award heading into Week 15 of the season. Leaving Week 15, the San Francisco 49ers quarterback has jumped the Dallas Cowboys passer and everyone else by leaps and bounds. Purdy walks into Week 16 with a commanding lead for the MVP award at minus 225 as of Tuesday morning per BetMGM.
Wow. Well, listen.
So crazy. Such a game manager. Such a check down wizard.
How do you feel about it?
Can I ask you a serious question? Does it make you uncomfortable to throw in that hard with a complete stranger?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, you don't really, I mean, you know Brock. You don't really know Brock. Like, he could be a huge a-hole for all we know.
Oh, no.
You don't think so?
Sweet little Brock?
What? you don't know that.
I played with certain guys. I'm not going to name any names, but who public appearances were great. And then behind the scenes, they were terrible people. I mean, that happens.
Could happen here on this show.
Tom Brady wasn't one of them. Tom Brady wasn't one of them. The guy who the guy you whispered
you say that to both of us.
Yeah, the guy you did whisper about in my ear. Yes, that guy was, as it turns out, wasn't the best. That guy wasn't the best. But look, that's neither here nor there. I mean, well, maybe it is.
Murder.
Well, right. There's that.
Fine.
Monday Night Football last night. One thing really stood out to me is overall through the course of the season, how bad Monday Night Football has been. Like Monday Night Football specifically, it is an anchor to your weekend because a lot of people now sports bet or they play daily fantasy, and Monday night represents that last chance before Thursday to just make it all better.
Before you have to go back to the NBA.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are like, man, like if I can just win it all back on Monday night.
So something I've noticed, though, is Troy and Joe do a much better job of hiding bad games than Al Michaels does. Because Al Michaels is at the point of his career where he doesn't give a F. And I think Amazon kind of gives him liberty because now it's become this running joke where people tune in to actually see how mad Al Michaels is going to get.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I do. But Joe and Troy do a better job of making bad games seem good. Last night, they didn't have much work to do. That was a fantastic game.
Yeah. Eagles, by the way, have dropped 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Overrated. Told you guys.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know if they're overrated. I think they're perfectly rated. I think the way we were talking about the Eagles last year, I understand how your brain went to, oh, this is all hype. Oh, this isn't real. This year, I think people are like, yeah, the Eagles got problems. Yeah. Like the prevailing wisdom is even though they're a 10-win football team, they do not feel like a 10-win football team.
All right, biggest difference between last year's teams and this year's team, because this year's team is clearly worse than last year's team.
Yep.
Do you guys have anything that pops to the top of your head? I got one thing.
It's Jalen Hurts. It's what are you going to do? Say he's overrated?
No.
Oh. Yeah, no, Jalen Hurts is not playing the same he played last year. Whether he's hurt, whether it's there's just something that's not working for him on the offense, it's just not the same Jalen Hurts.
Defense.
It's the defense.
That was mine.
Yeah, but this happens all the time. If you think about it with Sean McVay, with Kyle Shanahan, with Bill Belichick over the years, with Andy Reid over the years, when you're a great coach and you have a great team, and you have any sort of sustained success, or if you're kind of like an overnight success, all of a sudden you're going to start losing coordinators. And that's exactly what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the reason why Matt Patricia is on the sideline calling plays for the defense now, because guess what? They lost, what's his name? Rich Gannon. So he's now the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. He was Shane Steichen, their offensive coordinator from a year ago.
Rich Gannon, wasn't he the quarterback for the Chiefs?
Yeah, that's not his name. Look up the Cardinals head coach.
But no, Rich Gannon.
Oh, Cardinals. Oh, what's his name? Josh Gannon?
Josh Gannon?
No, that's not right either.
Is the last name even Gannon? I think so. Why am I blanking on this guy's name? But yeah, you're right. Rich
Gannon.
It's a quarterback for the Chiefs.
Jonathan Gannon.
Jonathan Gannon, thank you.
He's a weird dude.
He's a little out there. But you know what? He was a really good defensive coordinator. He really did captivate that room. And defensively, the Eagles last year were all shored up. Yeah, Jalen Hurts has been injured, and I agree with what you said, TD. It feels different.
Well, it used to be last season was if Jalen Hurts had the ball, they have a shot to win this thing. Yeah. And I do not feel that way this season. I feel like Jalen Hurts could make a huge mistake. He threw a pick last night when they were trying to come down and tie the thing.
So the Eagles offense last year was built upon the fact that their defense could get them the ball quickly. Then the Eagles offense could hold on to the ball forever. Well, Same thing this year. That's how the offense is built, and they do that, by the way. You look at time of possession last night, and I haven't looked at the numbers, but I'm sure it was mostly with the Eagles because it felt like they had the ball the entire night.
Yeah.
But then you look at the defensive side, and they're not getting teams off the field nearly as quickly as they did a year ago.
No.
And part of that is injury. Darius Slay's missed a few games here. He's one of the better cornerbacks in the entire league. But part of it is just maybe it's losing the coordinator, maybe it's personnel, maybe you had to pay guys on the offensive side a little more to keep them, and now on the defensive side, you're struggling.
Wow. Rich Gannon, quarterback for the Oakland Raiders from 99 to 2004.
Yeah.
That's Costa's boy.
Yeah. Gannon, he played for a long time with Oakland.
He played for 18 seasons, by the way, in the NFL. Started with Minnesota, went to Washington for a year, then Kansas City, then finished out with Oakland. 6 seasons in Oakland. I don't hardly remember him in Oakland for some reason.
Oh no, that's the only place I remember him playing. Where did he go to school, by the way?
Let's see.
What was his college?
Was Delaware Fighting Blue Hens.
The Delaware
Fighting
Wow.
Blue Hens.
Guess him and Joe Flacco. Also another guy who's played like 18 years in the league.
Well, by the way, a Philadelphia tie-in. Rich Gannon, born in Philadelphia.
There you go.
We knew it.
Tying that all together. Look, here's the deal with the Eagles. The Eagles defensively, they're a problem because if you rewind the clock to 3 games ago, they're 9-1. And even then, even with a 9-1 record, they're only lost, by the way, to the New York Jets at that point. Even with a 9-1 record, you're like, how is this team 9-1?
Wasn't it the Commanders last year that got him?
They knocked them off stride. I think that was their 12th game of the season. I think they were 11-1 at week 13. I believe that's what it was. But yeah, like this season at 9-1, you were like, there's no way. There's no way that this is, or 10-1. This isn't a 10-1 football team. This is not what they look like typically. But they've found a way to win, and a lot of it is actually due to Jalen Hurts because in those shootouts with the Commanders, one of them was an overtime win. Like Sam Howell was putting it on that defense, and they found a way. I mean, there were plenty of games like that where the defense really struggled, and because of AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts and DeAndre Swift, like they found a way to get these victories.
Cowboys 10-4, Eagles 10-4. Who wins the division?
Cowboys.
Eagles have a very easy.
That's the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles' schedule is New
they
York.
get the Giants twice, and they get the Cardinals.
Yeah,
they have 3 games left. So last night got me really excited because of the Pocky One Chip Challenge. I took the under on the Eagles.
Oh, that's right.
For the season. Well, they need 2 more wins to hit the over, which would help both you guys out. And I was like, Eagles might not get 2 more wins. Then I looked at their schedule: Giants, Cardinals, Giants.
Okay, all right.
Like they're getting all 3 of those.
However, I need the Seahawks to basically win out here, right?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
And now you officially you need them to win
2
of their next 3.
Yeah.
Well, who do they got? Titans, Steelers, Cardinals. I mean, there might be 2 there.
There might be.
But you also need the Steelers.
Oh God, I need the Steelers and the Seahawks.
You need the Steelers to win out completely.
I'm done. It's over.
Oh my God.
It's
Oh
over.
It's not over. I promise you. I broke down like all the situations yesterday. It is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't want to eat this chip.
I'll tell you what. I don't either, but it actually it makes me so happy how much you're struggling with this for whatever reason.
Dude, I went in yesterday at like 11:30. So this is 2.5 hours after the show, and I just finished breaking down all the numbers for the Pocky One Chip Challenge. I walked into the little studio Travis was in. The look on his face, Rich.
Yeah, I was devastated. I was devastated.
He's so negative. He's positive he's going to eat it, and he's positive he's going to die.
Yeah, I am going to die.
No, you'll be okay.
I'm going to die.
No. You're going to make it. I'm telling you, it'll be like one of the worst 10 minutes of your life.
You interrupted me as I was looking up this UPS girl on TikTok.
Is there a UPS girl on TikTok?
It turns out Travis Dale, real perv. Travis Dale, you also need to get on over to prizepicks.com/Fletch because you need to sign up and get your first deposit match up to $100 so you can start partaking in conversations between Rich Ornberger and myself during Monday Night Football where we're talking about pick'em entries and different ways to win you money. So Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. We are the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. So instead of battling against thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. This is exactly what happened to me this weekend. I had a 6-person player entry going on between the UFC and the NFL, and I won $500 on a $20 entry. Prize Picks is the most fun I've had winning up to 25 times my money this football season, and now I can play during basketball too. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, place your entry. You can play alongside some of Prize Picks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill, comedian Andrew Schultz. Come on now. You can find community plays under the promo tab of the app to view the entries from some of the biggest names in Prize Picks community this week. By the way, that $500 I won this weekend, already in my bank account because of the quick withdrawals. You can use Apple Pay. You can figure out the way to make it work for you. PrizePicks.com, promo code Fletch, $100 first deposit match.
Yeah. Coming up next, cold
I feel
pizza
good about that one.
or
God.
cold feet. That's next. Hey, this is Rich for Ocean View Dental. If you're looking for a new dentist, and I get it, like that's the last thing you want to be thinking about, but think about the last time you went to the dentist's office. Did you really enjoy it? The conversation, the office itself, I don't know. Look, I'm not going to complain about any of my former dentists. They were all fine, but it wasn't like I was really enjoying going to the dentist's office until I met Dr. Jordan Colby and the staff over at Ocean View Dental. It's just different. That's the best way I could describe it. You go into that office, it feels like you're being greeted by family members. They know your name. They know why you're there. Dr. Jordan Colby will help you with anything you're looking or needing help with, whether you're just updating your most recent teeth cleaning with their hygienist, or you're sitting down for major dental work, which is something that I needed, and on recommendation went and saw Ocean View Dental, and it was one of the best decisions of my life. And I mean that because think about your teeth. You use them every day. You got to eat. And I was missing 3 molars. I needed another tooth extracted. I needed implants. I had a lot of work ahead of me. At least that's what I thought. I was told by my former dentist that this was going to be a 1.5 month process. It ended up only taking, a 1.5 year process. We're talking about 18 months. It ended up only taking 3 months with Dr. Jordan Colby over at Ocean View Dental. He explained the plan. He showed me digital pictures of the entire procedure. By the time I walked out of the office during that consultation, I was 100% confident I made the right choice. And so if you have anything coming up in your life in terms of dental issues that you need addressed right now or on the other side of the new year, oceanviewdental.net is where you should start your search. Dr. Colby has built a world-class family-oriented dental practice over at Ocean View Dental. He's got one office in Fallbrook as well, if that's more convenient for you. They provide excellent care, professional and personal attention that you and your family deserve. This has been one of the best medical experiences of my life, definitely the best dental experience of my life. Dr. Jordan Colby is incredible. His motto is, no matter your situation, he can help you create a confident and healthy smile. That's what he did for me. That's what I'm hoping for you. Oceanviewdental.net. That's oceanviewdental.net.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760, and you've sang, you've danced, you've listened to your favorite artists in the iHeart app all year, and now it's time to rewind with what made you move in 2023. Check your inboxes for your personalized iHeart Rewind 2023 presented by State Farm. It highlights everything from your favorite station and artist to the first song you thumbed up in the free iHeart app in 2023, and you can share your rewind with your friends at hashtag iHeart Rewind 2023.
All right, so the New York Giants and New York Jets, they both train and their players majority live in New Jersey, not in New York.
Bad football teams.
Both bad this season. Giants are cobbling together. Something interesting's happening, and it's all because of Tommy DeVito.
Did you see he's pissed off at his agent?
Okay, well, so check this out. Tommy DeVito and his agent apparently ran afoul with a New Jersey pizzeria who says that they canceled an event featuring the New York Giants passing Paisan quarterback. Originally, the charge for his appearance was 10 grand. 10 G is a lot of money to show up anywhere for a couple hours.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, after that,
what pizza place has 10 grand they're dropping on the appearance of Tommy DeVito?
You tell me you never heard of Conglios? It's an old-fashioned pizzeria, right? So they announced on social media that they're going to have Tommy DeVito come through the doors. It's a New Jersey place, right? Apparently, they upped his rate to $20,000 after the announcement was made and after they already had, I'm assuming, a verbal agreement between the player and the establishment. And now they've come out publicly and they've basically said, we're being scalped here. Like after that Packers win, all of a sudden his rate jumped up and doubled. like we already had an agreement in place. We
Yeah.
already made the announcements. So Tommy DeVito, all this goodwill that he's created for himself, like you're really going to sacrifice that for 10 G's? Now, if this was his agent, Sean Stellato, who we were introduced to on the primetime game, was it Sunday night or Thursday night football, where him in that hat?
Yeah, I think it was Sunday night.
Was it Sunday night?
The articles I'm reading are saying this event was canceled after his agent pulls a fast one.
Oh, okay.
Like that's how it's being presented to the public.
Yeah, but
dude, this Tommy DeVito thing, doesn't it feel like this is gonna burn hot and burn out for you guys?
Well, yeah, probably.
Unless he keeps being good at football, that cures everything. But it feels like this is gonna just come to a screeching halt, and we will never hear the name Tommy DeVito ever again.
Which is probably why his agent goes, "We're gonna strike while the iron's hot." And guess what? His talent fee just got doubled. The problem is you can't go to already signed events and then say, "Yeah, look, if you're gonna want him, you're gonna have to pay double." See.
According to an Instagram post by Caniglio's agent, Sean Stellato raised the appearance fee after DeVito led the Giants to a comeback victory over the Packers on Monday Night Football. That was when we were introduced to Sean Stellato. The Morristown, New Jersey-based restaurant posted the cancellation Sunday after DeVito struggled in the Giants' 24-6 loss to the Saints. Look, this is on ESPN. Like, this is one of their lead stories this morning because Tommy DeVito has become a cult favorite in New York. I understand in our corner of the world here in the finest city, maybe this story isn't resonating as much, but in market number one in this country, you cannot go anywhere if you press all 5 fingers together and you point them toward the sky and you give it a little shake and you go, hey, everybody knows exactly who you're talking about. It's Tommy DeVito. This guy has taken over New York. He's the biggest story out there.
You got family out there. Did they call you Rich?
So when I was talking to them, I was like, what do you think of this Tommy DeVito? The room is split. And I'm talking about every single group of fans. Giants fans love him. Especially Italian-American Giants fans. They love him. They love his agent. They love the whole thing.
Right.
But there's a lot of Giants fans also who are self-hating Giants fans or like they've been, beaten down and downtrodden.
They're jaded.
Or just not Italian.
Well,
I'm not Italian and I love it.
Same.
I mean, I love this.
I mean, it's an Italian thing. We're very lovable people.
It's a great point.
We call him Tommy the Fig DeVito.
I love this story. I love the fact that he's having success. I love the fact that his agent looks like Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he's now, him and his agent have now
shaking down the pizza pie places.
I love that they're shaking down pizzerias. I love everything about it.
What was the name of the pizza place?
It's Caniglio's.
That's a place that you would never see Big Rich about 2 months ago. Because Big Rich was too big.
I was way too big. Actually, that's exactly where you'd find me. I'd be taking an entire pizza pie, folding it in half, and making my own calzone. Yeah, golly. I was going down a dark path.
Golly.
Yeah.
They must have a lot of patrons like us because if they're able to spend $10,000 on an appearance.
Well, I'll tell you where I got help was sdfatloss.com. So if you're like me and you're folding pizzas in half, maybe in half again, and making yourself like a little quarter pizza sandwich. Yeah, which. I mean, that sounds great, but when you finish that pizza, you feel awful about yourself every single time. And look, we were all going through that together, separately and together. We would show up and we would come up with these ideas like, hey, maybe we should all go working out together after the show. That never materialized. We tried something called Next Level Fit Guy stuff. That didn't work for us. In fact, many of us gained weight when we tried to do it ourselves, which seemed odd. But with the help of sdfatloss.com and Wayne and Chloe, specifically the weight loss team over there, the pounds flew off. Within the first 20 days, this show lost over 60 pounds. It was insane. The waistline is down. The scale is down. TD lost over 30 pounds. I've lost over 35. Ben Fletcher has lost 235 pounds. Yeah. He's only 70 pounds at this point.
No, I now weigh 235 pounds.
I felt like you said it different last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was 478 pounds.
No, I was 278.
And now he's 230.
Woo!
You do the math.
Congratulations.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah.
Ben, I
Yep.
mean,
and he did it without exercise or counting calories
None
or
of that.
counting points.
There was no needles
Shakes,
involved.
no needles, no gross granola bars.
no hormones
Nope.
for us.
Nope.
Just good old fashioned try hard effort and
That's
a
right.
lot of help with some friends. Wayne and Chloe at scfatloss.com. 858-665-3211. 858-665-3211.
It's hour 3 on Big Rich, TD and Fletch. This update presented by the Jim Trail Real Estate Team. Starting off in the NFL, last night Seahawks took down the Eagles 2017 behind a last-minute game-winning touchdown drive led by Seahawks backup quarterback Drew Lock. NBA, Lakers lose to the Knicks 114-109. Bulls beat the Sixers 108-104. Cavs take down the Rockets in OT 135-130. College hoops, Aztecs returning to action tonight against St. Catharines at Viejas Arena. Tip-off at 7. We'll be on the air with pregame coverage at 6. Still got a pair of tickets to that game to give away coming up on the show today. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Buttrell has the buyers. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Ozzy. Hey, good morning. Happy Tuesday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. So we had Monday Night Football last night. We got Aztecs basketball tonight. We got Tommy DeVito stiffing pizzerias out in New Jersey.
Right, that happened.
We got Four Corners coming up.
It's going to cost you 20 G's. You want Tommy out here. You know what I'm saying?
Tommy D doesn't get off his couch for less than 20 large. That's a real story out of New York this morning. That is front page news on ESPN.com. That is the 5th story down is Tommy DeVito stiffs New Jersey pizzeria.
Gonna need a bigger slice of the pie.
You catch my drift.
By the way, New Jersey Pizzeria, you can get us for like $10.
Oh, dude, we'll show up for just
free
the
pizza.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
You kidding me?
Yeah, so make that happen.
You hear us, Caniglios?
We're talking to you, huh?
So last night, Monday Night Football, one thing that really stood out to me is the excitement and fun that Drew Lock plays with.
Right.
I think what we've gotten into the habit of, and football, look, all sports get very serious at a certain point, but I think we've gotten a habit of, because now we're not just watching it through the eyes of sports fans. We're watching it through the eyes of bettors and daily fantasy players. And also, when you are an ardent fan down the stretch of the season, and I don't know if you root for Seattle, if you root for Philadelphia, but wins and losses are so crucial. It just turns your stomach upside down when you're viewing it. So there's a lot of people who they're just pot invested in these games. And so it changes the way you feel about it. But from the standpoint of somebody who doesn't have a dog in the fight, I respect Jalen Hurts' game. I used to play with Nick Sirianni when he was a coach with the Chargers. I really like what's happening in Philadelphia. I love Pete Carroll. I think that guy is fun. I think that guy gets it.
Jerk.
Somehow at 70 years old, he relates to a locker room still. He seems like he's a fun coach to play for. He seems like a coach I'd like to play for. But Drew Lock, man, that's the way football should be played.
Yeah, let's listen again for anyone that missed it in the 6 o'clock hour. But on the field with Lisa Salters after the game, this is moments after he led that game-winning touchdown drive where he had multiple passes of 29-plus yards to get them down the field. The kid, he was emotional coming off the field, and he's talking to Lisa Salters. She handled the interview perfectly, and I think just listen to Drew Lock's voice, and it'll put a smile on your face.
Again, Drew, we can see the emotion on your face. We can hear it in your voice. Can you just describe what you're feeling in your heart right now?
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to describe the feeling of, not playing for so long, or at least what feels like a really long time to me. And then you sit there, you watch games, you wonder, can I do this still? I haven't been out there on the field. That's the human nature of it. You get back out there last week, I'm like, you know what? I'm the man, so I can go do this. And then you got another test this week where I didn't know if I was going to play or not. Sure enough, ended up playing. We're playing the Eagles tonight. And the boys around me rallied tonight. And it just, gosh, it feels so good. It feels so good. I'm so proud of everybody tonight.
I hope that keeps going, because football is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun to play. It's supposed to be fun to watch. Drew Lock is fun. I mean, he's fun. Not every bit of play is fun with Drew Lock. Last night was fun, but I'm telling you, the guy out on the field is fun. He's having a good time. He's laughing. He's smiling. He's joking with the guys, being part of the boys, part of the gang. And I like to watch that.
And what's awesome is there's 3 weeks left in the season. Every team has 3 games left. There are 10 open playoff spots. And these races are going to come down to the wire in both divisions. And that starts with Thursday Night Football this week. There's huge playoff implications on the line. Can't remember who it is, but both teams are right there. Hang on.
Colts and Broncos.
No, it's not. No, it's Saints and somebody, but both teams are like right on the bubble. Saints and Rams. So
Okay.
it's like two teams that are right on the bubble of getting into the postseason. So every game from this point forward has huge implications on those 10 remaining spots in the postseason.
I think the Rams have the 7 seed right
They do.
now. Yeah. I understand what you mean they're on the bubble, but they're in the tournament right now. And you're right. Knocking on the door in the same division is the Seahawks.
They have the exact same record. They're both 7-7.
Saints, you look at that team, they could be a division winner for crying out loud.
Right.
The Bucks are also 7-7.
Yeah. So this is a very, very busy time of the year. And so you can get very caught up in narratives and you could get very caught up in, again, the passion of the moment. If Drew Lock doesn't lead a 10-play, 94-yard drive to finish out this game with the Jackson Smith and Jigba 29-yard reception for a score in the waning moments of this outing, yeah, maybe I walk away from this game not as impressed or enthralled with the experience because was it a good game? Yeah, it wasn't a great game until that final drive. That's what pushed it over the edge. And then that excitement that you heard, like that feeling of, I started doubting myself. I didn't know if I could still do it at this level. It's been a long time for me since I've had a moment like that. And to hear someone genuinely excited about getting out there and getting opportunity and playing that well, I think it takes a certain type of coach to instill that level of passion and confidence in players. That's the reason why Pete Carroll is so impressive to me. Because look, as much as I love Bill Belichick, as much as I respect Bill Belichick, and that is the smartest football mind I've ever been around in my life. I spent 3 years in New England with him. Something changed when Tom Brady left. It's noticeable.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Pete Carroll. Russell Wilson left, and he's turned Geno Smith into a star, and Drew Lock leads a comeback victory in the fourth quarter against a team that played in the Super Bowl last year with 10 wins this season.
Yeah.
While you're dogged at home on Monday Night Football. Are you kidding me?
And then let's say, look at what moved on when Russell Wilson moved away from Pete Carroll. Now all of a sudden Russell Wilson's broken. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Pete Carroll may have been the reason Russell Wilson was so good.
It's crazy that the Broncos are so intertwined to all of this.
They really are.
And they're on the bad side of this. But what I really loved about Drew Lock,
That's fine.
it would have been
pass.
so easy for him to go play Mr. Cool Guy after the game and just be like, yeah, the team did great. It was a good win for us. Like, the eyes are focused on the future. He lived in that moment.
Yeah.
He took that moment and was like, I am the man still. I can still do this.
Yep.
And that if I'm an NFL team looking to fill a quarterback hole next year, I'm taking a serious look at Drew Lock.
They tried to write him off. He didn't write back.
That's right.
That's right. That's what they do in Seattle. They do not write back.
Actually, I'm going to send this to you, Fletch, because we didn't play this earlier. We heard from Drew Lock post game. And again, that's on the field. That's like with zero preparation. That's just him reacting extemporaneously to what just happened to him. How about this from Jalen Hurts? So Jalen Hurts gets to the podium after the game. He's had some time to think. He's taken a shower. He's changed into his clothes. They got a long flight. Yeah, he's all wet. He's probably used
Completely nude.
probably Irish Spring,
Yeah.
I would guess. I look at him and I think that's an Irish Spring man. Anyways,
Studs everywhere
Yeah.
dripping off of him.
firm buttocks. Anyways, look, the point is, after all that, he put on his ball cap. He got to the podium. Here's what he said.
Does that feel a lot like we just give up out there?
So I understand where you're coming from. And what Juan Soto said amid a 4-game losing streak up in Seattle, oddly, same city, for the Padres last year, saying that, sometimes we just go out there and we quit. In plain English, he said what it feels like Jalen Hurts is saying. It's a bad look. It's a bad look when you're talking about a team's commitment. Now, maybe he isn't specifically talking about himself. Like maybe he's sending a message to some of the younger players around that offense, maybe guys who he works with on a daily basis. He's getting word that they're out partying instead of studying their playbook, or, they're doing things that, instead of getting their rest, they're, I don't know, going to appearances at pizzerias. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that happen during the season that can distract you. And when you go on a 3-game slide like this and you're Jalen Hurts and you know how fleeting these moments are, I mean, that guy played the game of his life in the Super Bowl. He still lost. Mm-hmm. And so I don't think he lacks the commitment, but I think he's sending a firm message to players around that team saying like, hey, the buy-in needs to be high because this is the time where we can win a division. We could take hold of the NFC. We could potentially have a bye week to start the playoffs. Wouldn't that be good for a guy who's been injured all season long to get a first-round bye?
Right.
It's just, it sounds like a stern message to the rest of the team from their starting quarterback.
Before we get to halftime here, we've gotten a ton of texts today, and sorry we haven't read any of them, but 70470, start your message with team if you would like to text the show. This one from our buddy Bob Armstrong. Hey, Rich, could fat and healthy Big Rich block Max Crosby?
Yes, it would be a rough day at the office.
So this is playing time Rich.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so going back to when I was in my prime, playing against Max Crosby.
Which Rich is the prime Rich? Is that 2013 Chargers Rich, or is it drafted to the Patriots Rich?
I was the healthiest I'd ever been, probably heading into that 2013 season. Well, no, that's not true. That's not even close to true. I had a knee injury from 2012 I was recovering from. No, going into 2014, before the back injury really took hold, I felt great. So say game 1, 2014, me against Max Crosby.
Moments.
It would be a terribly nerve-wracking game. But yeah, I could play. I mean, I would go against guys like Von Miller and have success, or Clay Matthews and have success. I could block them. I'm not saying it's fun.
913. Hey, Rich, can the Remy eating and Island eating Rich be able to block Chris Jones?
No. Okay. So if I'm being perfectly honest with you, if I went out right now and tried to play football, I would break like a vase.
Well, let's put you on like a college field of an NAIA school.
I gotta say, both the Remy and Island sounds good
right now. Yeah,
right now.
We should make 2 stops.
Exactly. NAIA school?
Oh no, yeah. I would tune up a college football.
You
program.
could compete.
Yeah. Like it would be I would feel worse than I've ever felt in my life on the other side of a game. But if I went out and played college football right now, I'd whoop some ass.
Wait, what level though? Like, not Alabama.
No,
but
no, that would suck. No.
What if you were
St. Catherine's?
Oh yeah. St. Catherine's. I'd be the best player on their team.
Okay, good.
I don't even know if they have a football program.
Could you play safety for St. Catherine's?
No. I mean, and I might even be, honestly, I might be overstating this. Like, I have like this supreme confidence. But you put me out on a football field. I mean, who knows if I even know what to do anymore?
How many drives would you be good for? Because like you see, like the offensive line, Trent Williams had a moment in the Niners game where they snapped the ball and he literally just put both hands on his knee and leaned over. He needed a breather.
Everybody went into the huddle and he just stayed at the line of scrimmage. I thought he was going to yak.
But like that's offensive linemen to work harder than anyone on the field.
To be perfectly frank, I'm pretty sure I would go in with the confidence I'd be able to finish the game. I know I would. But there'd be a good chance I'm going home at halftime.
Speaking of halftime.
Well, what I got for you is a final last night on Monday Night Football that was unexpected. Seattle Seahawks hosted the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles took an early lead. They were out to a 10-0 lead at one point. Seahawks, however, able to keep it close all game long. They're in the come-from-behind win, 20-17 final. Seahawks backup QB Drew Lock led that stunning 10-play, 92-yard drive we were talking about. And Njigba gets the touchdown reception. And then the Seattle Seahawks on the ensuing drive were able to pick off Jalen Hurts and seal the game in the final seconds.
Controversy, by the way, that toe might not have been down on the interception.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was, but now there's new angles that have come out this morning where it looks like it wasn't.
It looked like I could see some of the turf pellets just
Everything
barely
we saw
pop
on
up.
TV told me that his toe was down. The angle we saw this morning,
It was, I don't know. Let's put it this way.
Don't take that away.
I always fall to the side of if it looked like a duck, it quacked like a duck, it's a duck. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, it looked like an interception. It felt like an interception. Let's call it a pick. Eagles fall to 10-4. Seattle improves to 7-7 after that win. Also, the Lakers, they lost a close one at home, but it was on banner raising night, guys. So the LA Lakers,
Hell of a night.
they were able to raise the in-season tournament championship banner.
Man,
High in the rafters.
how long before we could start saying that without sarcasm?
Right there next
I
to
never.
the Taylor Swift. She had that record number of performances.
The record number of sellouts.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
At Staples, at Crypto.com Arena. And so right there next to it, you've got the inaugural in-season championship, your 2023-2024 LA Lakers.
Incredible.
Wow. So,
Man.
yeah, Jalen Brunson absolutely blew the doors off of the Lakers defense. He went ham. And LeBron and AD both played great games. LeBron logs his 109th career triple-double. And then AD scored 34 points. So, I mean, it's not like the stars didn't come out. They shined. The Lakers bench really, really could not fill up the basketball hoop, and that's how it ends. Also, coming up tonight, we got Aztecs basketball. All right, 7 p.m. tip-off between the Aztecs men's hoops team and St. Catharines over at Viejas Arena. Pregame underway at 6:30.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
From courtside tonight, so it's a little different. We will have the 760 tent out in front of Viejas Arena. There may be some giveaways, so make sure you stop by and say hi to our promo team. But John and I will actually be courtside for the entire pregame show.
Awesome.
Do they not sell hats for the NBA Cup championship? I'd
See,
like to
How
have
dare
one.
they?
I'd really like to have one of those.
I wonder what country in the developing world has the Pacers championship hat from the in-season tournament. Like, at any point do you start turning down the swag? Like, you're like, actually, no, we're good. We'll just squint.
Well, we know for a fact that there is 2 variations of New England Super Bowl shirts that are somewhere around the world from the 2 losses to the New York Giants.
Oh my gosh.
And then the 1 loss to the Seahawks. So there's 3 different iterations. There's some big time Patriot fans all over the world that
You
think that
give
they
me-
won
Oh,
3 Super Bowls.
There is one.
There it is.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Dude, so you
It's actually
two
not a
could
bad
be
looking hat.
That's actually a decent hat.
I'm-
You
I-
could do.
I think I'm going to buy that.
That might be a one and done tournament. That might be.
It might never happen again.
Is that Sarah's least favorite phrase? I think I'm going to buy that because I feel like you say it a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes I just don't say it. I just do it.
Same.
Yeah.
There are things that have showed up at the front door recently. Like, we got a new coffee maker. Anne's like, why do we need another one? I was like, funny you should mention. The other one broke. She was like, did it?
Yeah.
No, the answer is I threw it away because I was just tired of looking at it. I wanted a new one. I wanted a Ninja.
Did you get a Ninja?
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
nice.
got a refillable reservoir. I might
What-
bring it in here. Maybe I'll brew
Wait, you
you
got
guys
the
a pot.
Ninja, the
Oh.
Ninja Creamy?
No, well, I got that too, but
wait,
that was
wait, you have a Ninja Creamy?
uh-huh.
Did you make ice cream with a Ninja Creamy?
I've had that thing for months now.
Wait,
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazon ads
oh,
get
we,
rich.
we got a
Dude,
Cuisinart.
dude.
Stuff pops up on his Instagram feed. He just clicks buy now.
I do that too, and a lot of it comes. I mean, very, very cheaply made
Oh
from
my
countries I can't mention because then we'll be banned from social media.
We can do office cooking with the Ninja Creamy.
Oh, we could.
I'll make you guys some
Wow,
some
wow.
ice cream.
Oh,
Okay.
you're really trying to get us out of here.
You know, I'm gonna run home and get that. And when I go home, I'm gonna take my Toyota. Yeah. A Toyota that I got at San Diego County Toyota dealers, and you should too. If you're shopping for a new car, new truck, new SUV, if you need a new set of wheels, your search should start at Toyota.com. So you visit Toyota.com. You can check out all the latest offers, compare model, search inventory, find the Toyota that's just right for you and your family. Whether you're looking for a grocery get or a commuter car, something that you need a little bit of room to store luggage, shipping people in and out of San Diego when they come and visit you, truck, maybe you got a business you're operating. Whatever your needs are, Toyota has the right ride for you. I needed a reliable car. So I was driving around in my former SUV. Thing was great, other than the fact that it broke down all the time. I mean, I honestly didn't know if I was going to make it to work toward the end there. And that's the sort of stress and anxiety that nobody needs in their life. So if you're like me and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I love my car, but I don't love the fact that when I turn the key, I don't know what's going to happen. If you're looking for reliability, the stamp on Toyota is these things run forever. I bought my 4Runner 5 years ago, going on 6 years ago now. And the thing has been perfect. I put gas and oil in it. It runs like a top. It's been the best car my family has owned. Spacious, roomy, everything we need. We need an SUV though. Maybe you're looking for a car. Maybe you're looking for their Beyond Zero lineup of electrified vehicles, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, fully electric. They make it easier for you to find the one that suits your lifestyle, all while making a positive impact. So whatever you're doing right now, whatever you're driving right now, if you're thinking about a new car, go to your San Diego County Toyota dealers today.
Hey, it's Fletch for SDFatLoss.com, and let's rewind the clock back to July. In July, I was a whale. I really was. 278 pounds laying on a beach in Mexico, and today I weigh 234 pounds, and I lay at the pool in my backyard, and I feel much better about it. SD Fat Loss has the secret for quick weight loss, and most importantly, lasting weight loss, using their time-tested methods. Literally tens of thousands of patients across the country. SD Fat Loss has broken the weight loss code, and they really had to break it for the three of us because let me tell you, we were big fat fatties. But right now, we are not. We are skinny, skinny, skinnies. Are you tired of those yo-yo diets? Well, you just need to call the number 858-665-3211, 858-665-3211. You pick up the phone today. You'll talk with Wayne or Chloe or any of the team members over at sdfatloss.com, and they will hook you up. Wayne and Chloe have been our weight loss coaches. They have stayed on us just to make sure that we're not falling back into any bad old habits and getting back to that place where we were just a few months ago. But now the three of us are on the maintenance phase. We are on the path to a healthier lifestyle every single day, because gone are those starvation diet plans. Do away with those latest fad drugs with their long list of side effects. There's no drugs, there's no injections, there's no exercising with sdfatloss.com. Just good old-fashioned weight loss. Get yourself down 20, 30 pounds in just a couple months. That's what they do over there. And right now, between now and December 31st, our listeners get a special sign-up offer, $200 off your order at sdfatloss.com. Give them a call today for the free consultation, 858-665-3211. I know what you're saying, Fletch, there's holiday parties coming up. Don't worry about those. You can start it on January 1st, but call today to lock in the savings and start your New Year's resolution with losing a bunch of weight. By February, you could be down 20, 30 pounds from where you are right now. sdfatloss.com. This update is presented by the Jim Betrell Real Estate Team. Starting off in the NFL, last night, Seahawks took down the Eagles 2017 behind a last-minute game-winning touchdown drive led by the Seahawks backup quarterback Drew Lock. NBA, Lakers lose to the Knicks 114-109. Bulls take down the Sixers 108-104. Cavs beat the Rockets in overtime 135-130. College hoops, Aztecs returning to action tonight against St. Catharines at Viejas Arena. Tip-off at 7. We are on the air, starting with pregame coverage at 6. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just the text. Jim Betrell has the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. We still have 2 giveaways to do here, so something tells me we got to do one this segment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we got a pair of tickets to see the Aztecs take on St. Catharines tonight, Viejas Arena, tip-off 7 p.m. Tickets and info at goaztecs.com. We also have a pair of tickets to the Holiday Bowl, which is also the KGB Sky Show, the 44th annual DirecTV Holiday Bowl. I think I'm required to say that. You can get tickets at holidaybowl.com or just keep listening for your chance to win one of those 2 pairs coming up this segment.
All right, we're super psyched for all that. So we have 4 tickets to give away, 2 pairs, 1 to Aztecs Hoops, 1 to the Holiday Bowl. That's coming up very shortly. So be listening for that. But be listening now for any of the betting or fantasy playoff information that you need. I know that it's that tricky time of the year where you're setting lineups and you don't know who to go with because this injury looked bad, this injury looked good, but is it really good to ever be hurt at this point in the season? Well, Doc David Chow is joining us on the show this morning, as he does every Tuesday during the NFL season. You can find all of his information at sicscore.com. That's sixscore.com, Sports Injury Central, or Pro Football Doc on X. Doc, how you doing this morning, brother?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
We are doing a lot better than Keaton Mitchell. So we were all watching that Ravens game on Sunday Night Football against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was going off, having a great game as he's been to finish off this season for the Ravens. How bad of a knee injury did we witness? Because his knee bent in a completely unnatural direction. We've seen other players suffer things that look similar at a similar position, like Nick Chubb, for example, able to make a full comeback. But I mean, that looked like multiple ligaments. What could be the possible prognosis on an injury that looked like that?
I agree with you, Rich, that, multi-ligament injury, you're right. Knees aren't supposed to bend that way unless you're a flamingo, right? Don't flamingos' knees bend the opposite way?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
He's a gazelle, not a flamingo. I mean, he's a great runner, but it's been announced that he's torn his ACL, but that's what also they said about back in the day, Teddy Bridgewater, when he dislocated his knee. They tore his ACL plus, right? Plus what? Plus.
Yeah.
And it's likely multi-ligament. The good news, if there is good news, is I don't think this is Nick Chubb from earlier this year. That was a complete knee dislocation where I think there's definitely career potential implications. Look, any serious injury to a running back's knee is career threatening, but I'm not believing it to be career ending. Big difference. Nick Chubb, I think he's going to have to fight uphill to make that not career ending. And I hope he proves me wrong. But this one is more like J.K. Dobbins from the Ravens a couple years ago, or perhaps Javonte Williams. And both those players returned, but obviously a December multi-ligament knee injury doesn't bode well for the start of next season. But as long as he can return to his career, we'll take that as the good news. So fingers crossed there.
Doc, out in New York or New Jersey, the Jets, Zach Wilson, a lot of layers to this thing. While playing in the game, he, I guess, gets hurt. He doesn't say how hurt he is, so he continues to play. He's pulled. Is it a concussion? Is it a, what was it, Rich, that he said, a hydration?
Oh, yeah, it was hydration followed by a non-concussion head injury.
Yeah.
Followed by the official announcement that he was concussed.
Right. And then his mom jumps on Instagram to say, you know what, my boy is one tough cookie. He didn't want to tell anybody how hurt he was. So what exactly happened here? And does his mom get him in trouble by calling him out?
Look, I think moms, everyone should just stay out of that. That's my opinion, right? I mean, that nothing good can happen from that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is this. It can be explained, but there's been a lot of things that are interesting. Look, if you go back the week before when all the Zach Wilson, maybe he doesn't want to play, and maybe that was throwing him under the bus, bad reporting. Not sure what the truth was. It did come out that he did play. But I found it most interesting that Robert Saleh said he's our starter for the rest of the season. This was 2 weeks ago, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. What about Aaron Rodgers? Are you saying Aaron Rodgers is not coming back ever? Or are you saying that the Jets are not going to be in a playoff run, therefore the Jets are not going to think about Aaron Rodgers? I thought that was interesting. And then yet, after this most recent thing, he had to say, oh, no, Zach is still the starter if he clears. Well, I thought you already said that 2 weeks ago, right? So, but let me explain the in-game. Rich, you know this. One of your quarterbacks, Phillip Rivers, always went in at halftime, maybe sometimes early to get an IV. You know this.
Yep.
Now, there was dehydration. It was near half. Okay, maybe he was in to do that. And then the concussion, non-concussion. I'm not saying that the communication was completely clear, but I can see that. It is possible to be put in the concussion protocol, i.e., we're checking him for concussion, but he hasn't been diagnosed with a concussion yet. And that's sort of mixed messaging. Now, usually most PR departments handle that by saying, we're not saying anything. He's being evaluated, instead of using the words concussion protocol. Just saying he's being evaluated. We'll let you know when we know something, instead of giving the halfway, which is he's in the concussion protocol, but by the way, he doesn't have a concussion. It's very confusing. There's no time requirement for you to tell media what he's in the locker room for. You're just supposed to do it expeditiously. And it's very defensible to say, we don't know yet, so we're not saying anything, right? But instead, I think that's what led to the miscommunication. So now he's been diagnosed with a concussion, and our numbers showed 22% chance of being able to return to play this next week. And you know what? You guys mentioned the Holiday Bowl. It's bowl season. And look, bowl season in college means it's shutdown season. The
Oh,
players that are going on the pros maybe opt out, this, that, the other. But don't sleep on the NFL. There's also a shutdown season, right? I mean, when there's nothing to play for, the other things come into play at this time of year. It's shutdown season. And I'm not calling any player soft, but sometimes it's the team shutting down the player. For example, Will Levis, if he really is the future of the Titans and he's not 100% with the ankle, if they're on a playoff chase, they might play him, right? But if there's a chance that ankle could get worse or he could hurt something else and now affect his off season, sometimes you park him. It's shutdown season. And I'm sure that will drive fantasy guys and guys in the fantasy playoffs crazy. But that's a fact of life. You have to look and look at timing right now, because return to play isn't all just medical. The team is involved in that decision making too.
Doc, this Zach Wilson stuff really got me thinking about what the role of the independent neuro, whatever it is in games. And is that a team of people who are up in the booth looking at every single play and maybe going back a couple plays to see if they've missed anything? Is it one singular person who's in charge of calling out, oh, that looks like it could be a concussion? Or is it people who are looking at hits saying, well, that hit is something that could lead to a concussion, even though the player walked off the field fine?
Well, there's 3 people in the booth. To try and manage it, a tech person, one for each side, etc. And when the buzz down happens, remember Tommy DeVito fought that and said, I'm fine, I didn't get hit in the head. But you have to go into the tent when the buzz down comes. It's basically you have to go in the tent, at least get the screen, and you can come back pretty quickly if you pass all those quick questions. But yeah, it is a buzz down. And it is different. It's in real time. It's hard. It's hard to judge concussions by hits, anyways. And it's a hard job to do. And they don't always get it perfect, but they're doing what they can. But there are 3 people there, including a replay person, to try and help look at that. But referees on the field are supposed to say if they see something, they're supposed to point them off the field, etc. Yeah, it's never going to be a perfect process.
Hey, Doc, we have about a minute left with you. 2 quick questions. Jalen Hurts, is the MCL sprain from earlier in November still a problem, and will that affect him moving forward into the postseason? And also, Miami Dolphins star receiver Tyreek Hill, is he expected, in your opinion, to return this upcoming weekend? And if so, how effective will he be?
Well, Jalen Hurts, we had no worries about his knee, including no worries about this illness, right? Illnesses that happen the night before, the morning of, maybe there's an issue, but it happens a day or 2 ahead of time. You got 3 doctors on the road, IVs, and the whole deal. And we actually loved at Sports Injury Central his rushing prop, and he killed the carries and killed the totals. He ran on the first play. We had full confidence in him. Tyreek Hill's interesting because remember, you got the team, the player, and medical. So if medical says okay, the player says okay, the team sometimes says hold on. And what might they hold on for? In the division, the Dolphins are clear. They're going to win the division. But what's coming next? Media has said, oh, he wants to play against the Cowboys. He wants to get the 2,000-yard record. But what's the biggest prize? The biggest prize is next week against the Ravens, where if you beat the Ravens, you get the tiebreaker and you get the number 1 seed if you win out. So there's a possibility that the Dolphins, look, if he really looks good, they're going to play him against the Cowboys because you need him to help win the Cowboys. But if there's any question that he's not as effective as he could be, you might save him for the Ravens because that's the one for home field advantage, and that's the following week. So these machinations, come about with the GM and head coaches and behind the scenes as they look and think of this stuff. Deeper layer than, oh, it's a big game against the Cowboys. That's not how they necessarily look at it. They're looking at the Ravens for the number 1 seed.
Yeah, no question about it. Hey, Doc, we appreciate it every single week of the NFL season. And if you're looking for great information on where to place your bets, on whether or not your favorite player is going to be ready for the upcoming week, your fantasy football playoffs, SICScore.com. All the information you just heard available right there at Dr. David Chow's website. We appreciate it, brother. We'll see you in a week.
Thank you.
There he goes, Dr. David Chow. And coming up next, we have a couple of breaking news stories, right? We have something happening on the Mesa we need to report. We have a wide receiver, a former wide receiver in the NFL, with some interesting travel thoughts.
I don't think we can say a single word from that tweet on the
travel
air.
tips.
Oh, that's just a travel tip from Antonio Brown.
We should do a segment called Antonio Brown Travel Tips.
It's only going to be a one-time deal. And also, we never got to four corners. Bottom of the barrel, I guess, is going to have to suffice. So we have a lot to do and very little show left. Okay, 844-570-1360, 844-570-1360. We're sending you to the Aztecs taking on St. Catharines tonight. Tip-off at 7 p.m. over at Viejas Arena. So if you want a pair of tickets to see the Aztecs play, 844-570-1360. Call right now. Okay, I got to tell everybody about my night last night. So with Underdog Fantasy, and you've heard me talk about this before, I had 4 pick'em entries in. I hit on all 4. I had a $60 winner, I had a $120 winner, I had a $150 winner, and then I had $300 winner, all on Underdog Fantasy last night. It was insane. So I have this heater on Monday Night Football. I'm like, well, I'm going to carry it over into the NBA. So Lakers Knicks on, put in a pick'em entry for Anthony Davis and Jalen Brunson. That one hit. Another $150 hit. It was insane. It's the best roll I've been on, and I absolutely love this fantasy app. So if you're looking to win big, it's completely legal in California, tons of fun to play. You need to download the Underdog Fantasy app today. The holiday season is here. They're running this 12 days of social promos starting last week all the way through the end of the season. This pick'em game is super easy. You pick between 2 and 5 players. Just select whether they'll go higher or lower on their stat totals, and you can win big. It's super fun in the NBA. I just did it with the Lakers last night during banner raising night over at crypto.com arena. It is awesome. Okay, so this is what you need to do. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with promo code XTRA, and Underdog Fantasy will double your first deposit of $10 or more, up to $100. And again, in the spirit of the holidays, Underdog is doing the daily promos over the site formerly known as Twitter. Follow at Underdog Fantasy. Be on the lookout for ways to win a Nintendo Switch and more. Must be 18 plus and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Coming up next, we have the bottom of the barrel, and it is going to be a great one. You ever see the Grand Canyon? All right, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. We've got to wrap up the show with the ticket giveaway. So we're going to announce that in about 2 minutes. So hang tight if you want Holiday Bowl tickets for the 44th annual DirecTV Holiday Bowl happening right here in San Diego, Petco Park. Kickoff 5 p.m. next Wednesday, followed by KGB Sky Show. If you want tickets to that, you got to be listening to us. In 2 minutes, we'll tell you how to win those. We were instructed that we were supposed to open a link that Fletch sent us, but not until this segment began. So
this might not even be worth it, but this might be the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
And this happened at the Indiana Pacers game last night. Go ahead and open it.
Okay. Opening.
Pacers.
All
Okay,
right.
so the caption says
volume's
Pacers just had a dog named Swiffer jump double Dutch style jump rope while 2 other dogs held the ropes.
What?
Oh, I didn't even notice other
What?
2 dogs.
What?
This is insane.
It's an Australian Shepherd. They're next level.
Yeah, they are. Dude,
Look
Swiffer,
at that. Wait, that puppy's jumping up and off a platform.
Dude, Swiffer is a good pup.
Yeah, Swiffer's a good pups.
Have you ever seen anything like that in your life?
No.
Like that dog is borderline human.
The dogs are just totally fine with holding those ropes, by the way.
Yeah, that's the other thing is the other 2 Australian Shepherds patiently waiting their turn to jump in.
I don't even know how to put into words. Like the dog is jumping rope while 2 other dogs are swinging the rope.
America.
I'm going to try to read the tweet that Antonio Brown sent out last night.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, got a dump button.
No, yeah, we could do this. We can navigate
Yeah,
this.
this is fine.
So Antonio Brown, potential Hall of Fame wide receiver.
He might have played himself out of the Hall of Fame. But that's a
Possible.
conversation for a different day.
He spent a long time in the NFL catching footballs, and now he's embarking on a rap career.
Good.
And also maybe starting to give out online travel tips. So here's what he wrote in a tweet that came down the wire. I guess this was yesterday morning at almost 9 o'clock Pacific Coast time. Okay, here it is. Hotel sex be different. You got to do stuff you won't do at home, like smear peanut butter on the television. I mean, he used the nut emoji, so I'm assuming he meant
Planters peanuts.
I'm guessing
Something.
so.
Right.
I don't.
Also, it's written like a poem.
Oh yeah,
I think it is a haiku.
Dude, Antonio Brown wrote a haiku.
You gotta do
The sex.
Wait, hold on.
Peanut
what?
butter
No,
on
it's
the
missing
TV?
It's close.
Yeah.
It's close.
Maybe emojis don't count in terms of syllables.
Man,
Either way, look, it's beautiful. It is a beautiful sentiment.
it really is.
All right.
Travel tips by AB.
So TD, you're gonna have to bring us home with what do we got?
I was thinking the second line wasn't enough, but maybe I counted wrong. No, I got you. I got you. What am I gonna bring you home with? Let's see. Travel vlogger, I guess is what she's calling herself now. Kaylee Killen. She's from Arizona.
Okay.
She got in trouble having sex out in front of the stadium there.
Oh,
at
dude, that's my
State Farm
cousin.
Stadium. It is?
No.
Oh, I was gonna
Dude,
for
I
on the
was
show.
gonna say,
Like,
yeah.
what? Why did you wait so long? So she got in trouble having sex out there in front of the stadium, but it made her Instagram famous.
Okay.
So then she traveled to the Grand Canyon and had sex there, which has made her more Instagram famous. And now she's going to travel all of the national parks and have sex at all of
America.
them. Yeah.
Dude, this is the land of the free.
America.
This is the home of the brave. This is the place where if you call in at exactly 8:57, 844-570-1360, you can win a pair of Holiday Bowl tickets. It's that simple.
She needs to raise money to get a bigger shirt.
Wow.
Boy,
Yeah.
that is
More fabric.
that is a bare midriff.
Thank
Wow.
you to Dr. David Chow. Thank you to what was that nice woman's name?
Kaylin Killen.
Thank you to her.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
providing content.
Luckily, it's cold at the Grand Canyon. Otherwise, the fabric would have nothing to hang on
Oh,
to.
yeah, dude. Yeah. Gripping
And thank you to
every
Antonio
last
Brown.
thread.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Rich. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Roadies, Dogs, Hangers, Bangers. We love you.
Did we give out a caller?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
did.
Okay, good.
You were distracted.
See you tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah. Catch you later.